You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello. Welcome to another Thursday. Chris will be here in just a moment. I don't want to do the same thing that I did last week and not have a good microphone. Everybody hear me okay? Please let me know. Hopefully it is fairly audible. As Jack is pointing out, definitely wanted to start out this week with a hearty rest in peace to one Wings Hauser. I know that this is one that... Our dear friend Brad Henderson had announced previously that he had died due to an interaction with the director of Champagne and Bullets. But this time it seems like it is quite real, and Wings Hauser is gone. Some great films made by Wings, some that have been getting some good reappraisal recently. Thanks, Jack and Corinne and everybody else that's saying it sounds good. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody here for another Thursday. We got a lot to talk about tonight. One thing before Chris gets here is kind of want to hear what anybody else is thinking about this whole Max Discovery thing, where they're looking to possibly sell off the rights to a film that they had taken a tax break on, which seems crazy to me that you can cancel a film and make money off of the tax write-off and then sell it and make even more money? That doesn't make any sense. Honestly, the first one shouldn't happen at all. But to be able to do both makes zero sense to me. That being said, I really wanted to see Coyote versus Acme, so I hope it happens. Fairly early on in the show, here is our dear friend, Mr. Chris Haskell.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Excuse the barren walls here behind us. This is still moving week for us.
Yeah, moved very quickly. It seemed like that's crazy. It's like tiny amount of advance notice.
Well, the first place we looked at that we really wanted had 7 applications on it, and so the second place we saw didn't have any. So we were like, gotta go. If anybody's asking, I'll be drinking Basil Hayden tonight, sponsored by Basil Hayden.
And Basil Reardon, who we're going to be talking about later on.
Match made in heaven.
Chris, let's get into everything you've been doing lately. How's life in the podcast world for you?
It's crazy. One thing kind of hey, John. One thing kind of leads to another, and then I'm in 3 podcasts all of a sudden. So it's been fun. We started, They Live by Film was just started in the pandemic as a hobby, like something fun to do. And then after a while, we realized that people didn't want to just hear us talk. So we went like, let's go ask. And Craig and Dennis were the first ones that said yes, which is, I'm still like so grateful for them because we were completely new. And then a few years down the road, I've just focused on boutiques. I started feeling, you and I got close and we started talking about gaps, and we were like, why is nobody doing a Vinegar Syndrome podcast?
Yeah.
And what's up, Craig? Yeah. And then I was just going back and forth on names, and I think Punk Vacation to me signifies like the spirit of Vinegar Syndrome. It's a movie that a lot of people like to shit on, but it's fun. And so I thought that would be a great one. And then I don't know if Adam's listening because it's 1:30 in the morning in the UK, but Adam did the artwork, and I'm still so appreciative for that because, I just said make it Rudy Ray Moore, but as if Andy Warhol did it. And like he came back with that. I was like, dude, what the hell? This is like way better than I expected. And then you and I were talking about gaps and realized that Mondo Macabro didn't have one. And asked if they could make an official one, and they were like, hell yeah, let's do it. So yeah, man, it's been a crazy ride the last year is when a lot of this stuff is kind of ramped up. And I feel silly talking about what I'm doing because it's like a 20th of what you did today. But
oh God, don't. we don't need to go down that route. I mean, the amount of stuff that just the collaboration between the two of us is a lot of fun. I was talking about this the other day. Somebody asked where I found some piece of information. I said on Reddit, and they were like, on Reddit? What do you mean? I said, well, I mean, that's where I met Chris. Like everything between me and Chris Haskell all started on Reddit, and without that chance meeting, none of this would have been the way that it's been.
Shout out to Reddit. I know, I love it.
Speaking of Mondo Macabro, I'm getting a little ahead of the game, but some recent pickups. Brand new bundle in from them: The Punishment, Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay, Cafe Flesh, and Bohachi Bushido. Those latter three all on 4K. I don't think I can share all of the cover. Oh, I can. I flipped some of the ones that I couldn't. So there we go. Nice thick slip covers now. They've upgraded from the thin paper ones that they had before. Mondo Macabro stuff. Speaking of, why don't you highlight last month's episode?
Well, it was a dream for me on two ways. So I've been a big fan of Shinya Tsukamoto for a long time because I saw Tetsuo the Iron Man, maybe not in theaters, but like a while ago, over 20 years ago. And then I've just been tracking Shinya Tsukamoto, and I love him. Hey, Anthony. And then I think we were talking, and I was like, man, it'd be amazing to have Tom Mess on this because he literally wrote the book on Shinya Tsukamoto. And you're like, what? Oh, you mean my bestie, Tom Mess? Yeah, like I could probably make an intro. And then you did. And then he showed up. So like all those things were amazing. And so I got to spend an hour and a half with Tom Mess, which is just incredible.
The conversation ended up being amazing and like exactly what I had hoped for. I mean, the amount of knowledge that Tom has on everything Asian cinema is unprecedented.
Yeah, I did. Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask him. I was going to ask him if he's seen every Takashi Miike movie because there's a chance he has.
Yeah, it's quite possible, especially for research.
But no, he's amazing. Like really, like I think I grew up, and as far as commentaries go, it was like Annette Insdorf, right? And then maybe there's a few other like common ones. Shout out to Annette if she's listening. She was one of the originals. But like I feel like we're in this golden age of film historians because like. Yeah, Tom Mess is just right, and then Nathaniel Hawthorne and like Eugenio Orcolani, and like you could just go down Sam Deegan. Like it doesn't matter. Like,
can we correct that to Nathaniel Thompson and not the guy that wrote the Scarlet Letter first?
What did I say?
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Oh. Nathaniel Thompson. Sorry. I guess I have sin on my mind.
Don't we all?
Speaking of syndrome. He's just incredible. Like it's amazing what he knows and has like been on set with Shinya Tsukamoto. And anyways,
yeah, I mean, just hearing about his research process is intimidating and inspiring and frustrating. I mean, to a point where people like you and I would love to just drop everything and go pour into some of these studios and archives that he goes and visits, but it's literally impossible unless you've got that as a job. I don't know how much you want to talk about it. Brendan wants to know what your day job is. He's been curious.
Hey, Brendan, thanks for the kind messages here. I've been seeing them kind of flash up. Nothing related to movies at all. I'm a IT consultant. I'm a tech consultant, and in my day job, I travel like 2 to 3 weeks a month. not 5 days a week, but I usually go for 2 to 3 days a week, and just fly wherever they're like corporate headquarters and try to sell them IT stuff. So,
and he's being modest when he says flies a few times a month. We're talking like I'll message Chris and he says, "Oh, don't worry, I just landed in Czechoslovakia. I got a little bit of time." Or, God, what was the last one? It was somewhere else in Europe, and I was like,
Poland. Yeah,
Poland. I was like, Jesus. I mean, the amount of I want you to go do research on the ground for me on some of these Polish films.
I'm so pissed because actually, like, I hope I get to go. I might get to go back in like June-ish, July-ish. And I'm gonna like leave early and go to the Mecca for me, which is there's a university there, and the name of the city is Voj. It's spelled like to Americans it looks like Lodz, but they say Voj. And I would love to go see it because that's where like Kieślowski's from. That's where a lot of the oh yeah, that's right, Aaron. Yeah. Hey, good. I didn't know you were on here. Yeah, Aaron's procured business from my company in the past, which is a small world. But yeah, like a lot of the classic Polish artists and directors that we know are like they went to university in Łódź, and I just want to go. So yeah, I do watch a lot of movies on flights. In fact, most of the apps have a feature where you can download and watch on airplane mode, which is awesome. So I watch a lot of Criterion and Arrow player stuff on there.
And hopefully in the next couple of months, we finally get a chance to meet in person, it sounds like.
It's been so close a couple of times. I know we need to make it happen, but you're speaking about we're trying to so my specific job is I go try to find new business for the company I work with if they're not doing business with us already. And Hellsberg Diamonds is not a customer of ours, but I'd like them to be. If anybody from Hellsberg is listening, call Chris Haskell at Cognizant. But they're based in Kansas City, I think.
Yeah, and of course they're known for watching the show every week. So obviously, please give Chris Haskell a call. You've already got his number, I'm assuming.
This is the diamond of boutique discussion. So,
speaking of that, after our announcements tonight, we're going to be talking about one of Chris's many quite professional discussions now, which is Vinegar Syndrome. Considering how much Punk Vacation has taken off, and you've had most of the company on the show at this point, only a couple more to tick off there. But we are going to be discussing the differences between all the sublabels for Vinegar Syndrome and then doing a personal ranking of them, which this is going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I hope the comments are active. I know it's never a problem on your show, but like this is a very contentious topic. So,
it is, especially for the VSAs, which started as one thing and now is 8 things.
It's gone from VS Action to VS Asia, right? Primarily. Yeah. But like that's fine. Like I'm here for it. Like it's great.
Punk Vacation just dropped a new episode. You want to highlight who was on that and what you covered?
Yeah, that was a cool one. So I didn't realize that he had been on your show. I was all pumped, and I don't know how I missed it, first of all. But I was so pumped to have this exclusive with Ewan Kant from Arrow Video and now Vinegar Syndrome, this producer, and I was researching it, and I was like, God damn it, Ryan.
How many times I've said that about you? It's all right.
But yeah, Ewan is amazing, and he's like he's like the slasher person, and like he knows everything about slashers, and like he's so passionate about the releases he works on. Awesome. Yeah, like so it was a super fun conversation, and it did drop, and it's I think people want to hear about slashers because it's been like there's already been over 150 downloads in like 12 hours, so people are or maybe 24 hours at this point, but anyways, it's like it's really like fast, and it's getting a lot of early listens, so I hope that continues because he's awesome. You can tell he's just like pure passionate, like he loves this stuff, so that's really fun.
Yeah, he when I had him on, I think he spent like 5 minutes talking about the Umbrella release of the Houseboat of Horror, which awesome. Most people are like, that is one of the worst piles of trash ever. And he's just wanting to discuss it to no end because it's so fun for him. I love the way he knows so much about a lot of these. Like Fatal Games is one that he had a big hand in. Back at Arrow, some of the cheesy slashers that he worked on that were like lifelong dreams of his that he's been watching for decades. It's so cool.
Yeah. And Mother's Day is a trauma film that takes place in the UK. So like, you got to do that, and recently it was Iced, Blood Tracks, and then Ghost Dance. So there's 3 like recent ones, but yeah, it's just pure like raw passion when he talks about it. So it's cool. I'm excited for people to hear it.
Who has been on the podcast, you would say maybe one of the more exciting episodes or interesting pieces that people should listen to as a first episode?
Oh, great question. So, let me close Discord because I'm getting these little beeps now. I don't want it to show up. I don't want it to be too distracting for everybody. Okay, so there's a couple that immediately come to mind. But I think like Oscar is Betcher from Vinegar Syndrome is an underrated speaker. Like he's he has kind of a reputation because of his videos of being like sort of silly and like chaotic energy, but he's really well spoken and like extremely thoughtful. And we were talking for 10 minutes before we even started recording about his passion for like organizing things. Like he's very much a librarian at heart. So it's really, I think that interview, I was like so impressed with, like, I think it was my expectations of who he was going to be versus who he was just like so cool. And there's a lot of depth to it. Curtis, I'll announce on April 1st, I'm getting Curtis Spieler back. He's coming back. It was the very first one, so I'm a little partial to it. But I also just think he's awesome. Thank you, Dustin. But yeah, like I think I haven't had a guest now yet that I'm disappointed in. Heather is pure id, right? Like she's amazing. Like she's really. I love the Heather Drain one, and I don't know if Eli listens to this, but if you are listening, Eli, he did an amazing job. He messaged me and asked if he could speak whenever I cover hardcore titles. And I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Like, I'd never heard him talk before. He's like, I have a background doing podcasting before. So I kind of like, I mean, I don't know, we're a new podcast. Like, why not, right? But he was awesome. Like, I'll probably have him back on somewhat regularly. And then how can I, like, my heart is, kind of tied to Italian cinema. So the conversation I had with Eugenio Orcolani, I just, like, that guy is just amazing. Like he lived the history. Like he knows it by living it, not only from books. And so the way he talks about Italian cinema is just very close to my heart. And he's awesome.
For anybody that's not listened to the Eugenio stuff with Chris or on my channel, it is insane how many times that he can say, oh yeah, my dad was on that set doing X, or there was a couple times I mentioned a film and he goes, oh yeah, my mom dated the director of that, or something genuine, and he's just got family history with it. And it is so much more meaningful when he gets, some exclusive interview with somebody that's been in the hills in Italy for 40 years without being talked to. And he's like, for the first time since 1978. And it's true. It's literally just him making connections and getting people out to speak.
And you can tell he's proud of it too, which is like kind of adorable, but he should be. Like, it's amazing the stuff he gets. No, Eugenio he's a good one.
You haven't have any pickup scenario you want to share or talk about?
Yeah, unfortunately not. Sorry. But for the pickup section, I'll say something slightly embarrassing since it's just you and I. So we decided to be eco-friendly, by the way. Super down on cardboard boxes, buying them, taping them up, undoing them, and then throwing them away. I was like, that's going to drive me crazy. So they have these companies now that will like bring plastic bins to your home, let you move with them, and then pick them up at your new place. And I mean, everybody has a different budget, but to get 50 bins was only like $240 for 2 weeks. So it was like a no-brainer, no cardboard.
Yeah.
We're putting movies in bins. And I just looked at my stuff and I was like, okay, I probably take like about 15, 20 bins, I guess. Dude, it's like 38 bins of movies. I was like, what the hell is my problem? Like, this is like, it's like that moment where you have an awakening that you're a hoarder or something. And I was just like, dude, anyways, I don't think I'm a hoarder. But
I love that you come to that realization, being eco-friendly, just staring at all of your plastic and cardboard.
I know. I better not throw it away. I guess we'll see in a million years it'll decompose naturally, right?
Yeah, we'll check that out. We'll still be here, of course. I showed Mondo stuff, but wanted to shout out a couple others. I had this stuck with the pre-order for the next title I'm going to talk about. But speaking of Jared from Mondo, their last title, I Want to Get Even. This is a Neon Eagle title. can't wait to see that one. The one that held it up is the Blue Underground 4K release of Venom. Literally just got this in. Excited to see that. And then I got suckered in on something. This went on sale, and I wasn't going to get it because I had the old Blu-ray, but this is my favorite in the franchise. So I really wanted to check out the 4K of the Evil Dead remake. And then Scream Factory came out later and said, well, let's just do a steelbook with some pretty dang decent art compared to what they normally do. And I was excited for that. So I got this on sale. Figured, why not?
What are the special features like on a Scream Factory DVD of the Evil Dead remake?
On the DVD or of this?
On the 4K.
Of this, it's a lot of the stuff that they had before. They've got an audio commentary with Jane Levy, Lou Taylor Pucci, and Jessica Lucas. Fede Alvarez and the writer is on there as well. They've got a directing featurette, Evil Dead reboot featurette, a couple other short featurettes. Nothing super exciting.
None of Fede's early short films?
No, none of Fede's early short films, which I believe wasn't like his first short film was what got him discovered.
Oh yeah, is he the guy that only has like one or something? Like that. It was a quick progression into movie making, right? So.
Either that, or he had like two, like we say short films, but I think the first two were like micros. They're like 2 or 3 minutes, and then he made one that got notoriety and attention, and they went, "Oh, you can come be a real director."
Shout out to Sam Raimi if he's listening for taking a chance on people. I love what he's doing with the franchise.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about recent watches then. Obviously, you're watching a lot on planes. What have you been checking out recently?
So the big stuff that I've been watching is related to Vinegar Syndrome, as you might imagine. And I think like I have to, if I can only talk about one thing, although you didn't ask me to do that, I have to say, like, if there's a movie that's a must buy from the recent like releases, let's say the last 3 or 4 months, The Carpenter is an absolute must buy. Like, I would love to hear from anybody that hates that movie, because that movie is fucking awesome. Like, I think Wings Hauser, it's especially relevant today because I think he passed away today.
Mentioned that right before you came on. He actually passed away about 5 days ago, but they kept it private until this late last night. Huge,
terrible news for the industry. What a legend. And he's somebody that I always feel like really is one of these guys that really, like, he goes for it in the roles.
Oh, yeah.
And The Carpenter is such a great example of that because the premise is so weird. Like, yeah. So, but I love The Carpenter so much. Luckily, there's been no snakes on these planes when I've been driving or when I've been flying. I will say that people are more nervous about planes crashing. I hear about it. I was talking to somebody on the plane recently, and they were like, "Hope this doesn't crash." And then somebody was flying for one of my coworkers, and they were like, "Hope I make it." I'm like, "Y'all, chill." I don't want to start assuming that every plane's going to fall down. But The Carpenter is an amazing movie, and I think everybody should see it. If anybody has even a slight interest in surrealism, The Mansion of Madness that just came out is a must-watch. Have you seen it?
I have, but it's been such a long time because it's an old, relevant to you being here, it's an old Mondo Macabro DVD.
Yeah, that's right, of course. Also, how have you seen... Brent, you were just saying you've seen Double Fetus in the sense of like you've seen it before. You haven't seen the new one, right?
Many people have gotten. Wasn't Devil Fetus from last month?
I haven't got it yet. No, it's a March.
Oh, it is this month. Yeah, I mean they've been shipping. I got my shipping notice.
But I guess if you live close to the archive, you can just go grab it anyways, right? Yeah, I can't wait. That release I'm super pumped about. We're not Double Fetus and Her Vengeance both are I think people are going to be like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
in the best way. But yeah, Mansion of Madness is good. Joy of Sex, for anybody that just wants like a fun, I guess, like teen comedy, like Joy of Sex is fun, and it's kind of extra funny because everybody in the movie is horny. Like even the parents, everybody's horny in the movie, but like it's still very much an 80s comedy.
Right.
And then I saw Female Perversions is weird. I don't know what to think about it exactly, like as far as recommending it. it's one where they really went for it visually, and you see a whole bunch of Tilda Swinton. She's naked pretty much the whole movie, and she's playing like a sex symbol, which is interesting compared to sort of like how her career's gone. She
Right.
takes on more like challenging roles or like androgynous roles, I think, whatever. So yeah, anyways, but it's okay. I mean, I wasn't bored ever. But outside of Vinegar Syndrome, I've recently seen Collateral, which is a really good Michael Mann movie. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's Michael Mann's best movie so far that I've seen.
Ooh.
I've seen like 4 or 5 of his. We saw recently, what's that one? De Niro and Pacino.
Heat.
Yeah, it was okay. It's pretty good.
It seemed like it took a moment for that title to sink in.
Yeah. Exactly. Broadcasting from, I know, it totally looks like a Joe, Ryan. Sorry. And I usually have a mic as well. So I'm sure I sound terrible.
Not as bad as the headset used to.
Oh, okay.
Better than the headset. I can guarantee that.
I'll take it then. The Naked Tilda Swinton. It's called Female Perversions. And one interesting thing, if you want to sound credible when you're talking about it and not just watch it to see her naked, although no judgment, it's a huge feminist movie. So like there's one of the special features talks about how there was a woman who was working on a Tarantino movie who left to go work on this. And her words were, "This is not a film. This is a movement." So yeah, it's a very strong feminist statement with a ton of sex. What's up, KB? Yeah, I feel like I don't know, KB, if this is not true about you, forgive me, but I feel like you're pretty current on a lot of the new stuff that's coming out, and I'm always jealous of that because I haven't seen a movie from 2025 yet, and I've seen 4 from 2024. So
Ryan says, Chris with a hot take. Heat is okay, but The Carpenter's a must buy.
I'll stand by it.
And yes, ZPAM, I believe Heat 2 is in pre-production and should be coming out in the next couple of years.
I hope they do like a colon, do like hotter or something. I don't know.
Heat 2 hotter. Oh, that's pretty great. My recent watch, the only one that I really can highlight much is the film Marrowbone from a handful of years ago. Popped this in this week. My wife had requested it, and I'd never seen it. The big thing, incredible cast in here: George McKay, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things, and then Mia Goth all headline this one. And it's okay. It's fine. Nothing special necessarily, but Erica, she says I popped in. The first thing I hear is Chris shit on Heat. What the hell?
I'll defend it in just a second, but finish your thought.
I don't necessarily recommend Marrowbone. It's made fine, but it's something that it seems like they had a couple ideas for some plot points and then kind of tried to tie everything together and it didn't work out, so they just rushed an ending onto it. Not the best. It's okay. The other big thing, Will and I recorded another commentary this week, has not been announced yet. I think that makes like 4 or 5 that we've recorded that have not been announced. So watch that movie again and again and again. There's a couple other things that we're working on that I've watched this week as well, but lots to announce in the coming weeks, including the one that Craig has been highlighting, Deaf Crocodile's announcements coming out next Friday. The big title that most people are excited for, just from the title of the film alone, Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands, is up for pre-order next Friday, so check that one out. Let's talk about Heat. What were you going to say?
That's my Tinder profile, by the way. Okay, so here's my defense, Erica and Craig. Although I know you're not going to be happy with it. I think in that movie, every scene De Niro's in, I really like. I think he nails it in that movie. Like, I think it might even be one of his best roles. Like, I know he has a lot of great roles, but like, I think he absolutely nails it. Pacino is kind of like a parody of himself in that movie. I didn't like his part. Every part he was in, I was like, okay, I mean, come on, you're just doing like a Pacino thing, but like not in a way that really like connected me to him. And he was a bit over dramatic and kind of overacting, I think. And it was one of the first times I was like, is Pacino not a good actor? Then I went back and I looked at his filmography and I was like, no, he's a great actor. But This one just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of flack for this before, but I've said before, since somewhere in the 80s, Pacino's kind of just been doing some shtick since then.
Yeah.
He's got moments of brilliance in there, but man, a lot of it, I cannot understand how far over the top he got.
Yeah, that's basically it. Greg, you're not wrong. The scent of a woman thing, it did kind of feel like that, to be honest.
Let's hear your hoo-ah, Chris. You mentioned Curtis coming up on Punk Vacation. Anything exciting for They Live by Film before we get into announcements?
Fair enough, Eric. So let's see, what can I announce? Well, Eugenio's coming on, so we're going to record in early April, and he's apparently he didn't tell me the titles, but he's on a couple of the stuff that's coming out in April, and so we're going to talk about it on They Live by Film, just to be able to go deeper and to go broader than just the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So he's coming on, and then but no, not too much. I mean, okay, I'll tease this. So I don't know how y'all feel about the Mission Impossible franchise. I'm like completely neutral on it, but Zach hasn't seen any of them, or except for the first one, I think, and Adam's a fan. So for They Live by Film, we're going to do one series where we do Vertigo movies that are similar but better. My words, not theirs. I didn't like Vertigo that much. But we're going to do like Vertigo-like movies. And then for the other, after that, we'll get into the Mission Impossible franchise.
Very nice. I think I'm in the exact same boat as Zach, and I've only seen the first one and could not be more meh about the whole thing.
Erica, Vertigo is okay. But it's overrated.
Oh man, Erica's gonna have a heart attack tonight. She said she's really leaving now. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Not an asshole. It's about like a controlling asshole. I don't get it. It's well made, but like I wasn't into it.
Who knew everybody would come out in defense of the indie director, Mr. Hitchcock?
Yeah, no, Z. I'm kind of like you. I want to just get to the good ones because 3 is the one that Brad Bird directed, I think, if I remember correctly. And like I remember just loving it sort of when I saw it. But then the other ones, I don't know. I haven't seen all of them. So.
Oh, I love this. Oh, this is funny as hell. All right. Are we ready for some announcements? And I love, speaking of Heat, we're starting with Heat tonight. I mean, we got Criterion announcements last Friday, a title that sold out over the weekend already. It's going to be a big deal. So let's get into it. First off, The Beyond 4K has been announced for ages and finally in pre-order status. This is shipping in April on 4K from Grindhouse Releasing, and as far as special features, they have pretty much everything. 4K scan that's brand new from the Technoscope OCN. You've got the composer's cut on here with a brand new master audio surround sound remix with the new score by Fabio Frizzi. We've got the original theatrical version and the composer's cut in Dolby Vision UHD, which is huge. You've got 3 commentaries. You've got in-depth interviews with a bunch of individuals from the making of the film. You've got newly discovered archival interviews with Catriona McCall and David Warbeck. You've got a 100-page book by Martin Bain and Jesper March. And then big one that people were not expecting, bonus DVD of the 7 Doors of Death version. This is the Aquarius Pictures version of The Beyond that was presented years ago, and it's finally here with its original Dolby stereo mix from the original analog 1-inch master. And you got the bonus CD of the new Composer's Cut soundtrack, D-boxed book of Ibon packaging, slipcover with beautiful new artwork by the poster artist Emmanuel Taglietti, and other surprises, of course. And the crazy thing is, you cannot purchase this. This was limited to 3,500 copies and sold out, I think, Sunday night. And there is an individual that does packing for Grindhouse Releasing that on Reddit, he is indicating that at the moment there is no standard edition in the pipeline. But there's no way that's true. I mean, it's a Fulci film in 4K that sold out in 3 days. Nobody is sitting on this and saying, let's not make more money. They did not have a limited license on this. They are putting out more of these guaranteed. Eventually, it will likely not have the packaging that this does, but it will have a slipcase and probably at least 4 of these discs, maybe 3. But it will have a lot. Don't worry, you will get a chance if you had to miss out on this.
And plus, like, Grindhouse is kind of like, they know how to make money, right? Like, they're good at, like, they understand how to make money. Like, I would bet a paycheck on this that they're not gonna like just stop for whatever reason.
They are the original FOMO masters. They will announce a limited edition that comes with a keychain and say, this is your last chance to get it. And as soon as that sells out, 60 days later, there's a standard edition that's in print for like 5.5 years after that, at least. And they all come in a slipcase. They all come with usually most of the bonus content, maybe missing a CD soundtrack. You will be fine. Yeah,
but exciting that Beyond is on 4K. I mean, talk about a beautiful movie, so...
Yeah, and I mean, not only exciting that it's on 4K, but it is from a company that is going to do really great work in 4K. Yeah. That's the big thing. The Beyond, what do you think about the Beyond compared to some of the other Fulci stuff?
So, Ryan, don't worry. I love Fulci, and I love the Beyond. How do I feel about it compared to other Fulci? I feel like this was the part of his career where he was kind of like in his prime. Like there's this the chunk of his career that a lot of people, when they're getting into Fulci, like this is the era that they watch, and it's amazing. Like I love it. I could watch this on repeat almost. Like this is my jam.
It's special, that's for sure. And then just after the Beyond got announced, we go straight into Criterion announcements, which is another huge month from them. Like I don't think I've seen a period of multiple months in a row where they've put out so many titles, even though kind of a lot of these are upgrades when you look at the grand scheme of things for what they've done, which nothing necessarily wrong with that. They're still giving a lot of new stuff and getting brand new HD and 4K upgrades. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. This is one of my sentimental favorite movies of all time. Like, it was one of the first times I don't know, like I saw movies differently. Like I saw this super young, and I just kind of saw movies differently after this. So I'll always love it.
Yeah, this is one of those. This one is coming on June 3rd, and it's a 4K release of the 1985 film Brazil. This is, of course, a long fan favorite for many people. This is a very unique film, very Terry Gilliam for sure. This has all of the same features, nothing brand new on this one as usual for what they're doing on most of the 4K upgrades, but I feel like this is one that people have been really waiting on since they announced that first Gilliam 4K. So glad this is finally coming out.
If I want to mess with people, I say this is De Niro's best role. I don't really believe that though, y'all. Don't worry. But if I want to rile people a little bit,
which good job, you already have. Speaking of 4K upgrades, on June 3rd, we're getting another upgrade. This is Mishima Life in 4 Chapters from 1985. This is a Schrader upgrade. This is coming again with all the special features that we had previously, same cover art and everything. 4K upgrade for something that will look great. And unfortunately, this one, as far as I can tell, will not have Dolby Vision, which really stinks for this movie, because this movie is one that could really benefit from some of those incredible colors.
Yeah. It's interesting to watch the arc of Schrader's life and how it's kind of mirroring the arc of the character in Mishima a little bit. He's not quite as militant, but like he's certainly become, like an opinionated. Yeah, exactly. Let's give him a stage. It's a beautiful movie. Schrader seems like he's kind of an asshole. No offense, Schrader, if you're watching, you're just very opinionated. But this is an amazing movie. Yeah,
this is going to look really great on 4K, guaranteed. And then the most controversial pick of the month from them, 1978's The Wiz, coming on 4K and Blu-ray. This is a... what do you say? I mean, a lot of people love this movie. A lot of people literally hate this movie. This is a movie with some huge names attached to it. I mean, Quincy Jones alone should be enough to get people in there, but then on top of that, Michael Jackson, Richard Pryor, Sidney Lumet is directing. But on top of all that, you've got one of the biggest names in all of it. And of course, Diana Ross, which most people upset about this are upset about the art. But also, I have not seen a Criterion movie announced in a long time with more people just absolutely shitting on it, saying this is one of the worst movies that's ever been in the Criterion Collection.
Really?
Legitimately. And I'm not going to name names, but it's public. If you want to go look on Facebook on my announcement for this post, there is somebody else in home video who works in the UK for a very big company that made a really awful comment on this. And I think it sort of envelops what a lot of people are responding to, which I don't understand. And I think it's just at the heart pure racism. I mean, I don't understand how you can feel that way about fucking The Wiz. Like, it's just a musical that was made by one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah, first of all, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is in Criterion, so let's slow down on like bad movies being in the collection. I mean, it's a fun movie, don't get me wrong, but like if we're gonna be, it's not as bad as Heat. No, Heat's a good movie. It's just I just didn't live up to this extremely high expectations I had. And Al Pacino's not a great actor. Okay, there's nothing controversial in what I'm saying. Okay, no, Jack, I'm not saying Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is bad. I'm saying for the people, if you're gonna shit on The Wiz, like let's slow down, because like there's a wide range of movies that are in the collection, and it's not all just like Italian neorealism. So like that comment doesn't even make sense. And like Armageddon's in the collection, like it's a fun commentary. But like,
Right.
Come on, like so it there's nothing. Like I don't even see how this is controversial. This is like a slam dunk classic, important movie in film history. Like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't Criterion put it out?
Well, and beyond that, again, this is one of those titles that Criterion knows the moment you release this is going to sell like frickin' hotcakes.
Of course.
This is a film people were raised on, and you're releasing it on 4K for the first time in the world with some of the biggest names ever attached to it. Who is not going to buy this?
No, totally. No, Craig, you're right. That's it. Like, there's no other explanation other than racism, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so.
The comment from the gentleman in home video, and I probably shouldn't use respectful terms like gentleman, it even included the word diversity in it. So it's like you're saying the quiet parts out loud here, and I don't understand how you can work in home video in 2025 and be like that. I mean, I'm going to shut up.
Is this from a company that puts out a whole bunch of Hong Kong films?
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting. It doesn't. You don't have to say, but I'll go see if I can remember my Facebook password and go and get it. Go check. But come on, it's The Wiz. Like,
right.
Let's not. It's not. There's nothing controversial about this at all.
Carrying on, speaking of racist, June 17th, we're getting a Blu-ray release of Thelonious Monk, Straight No Chaser. This is a really exciting release for me. New 4K digital restoration on this one. We got an introduction from the director on here. New interview with the musician T.S. Monk, son of Thelonious Monk. We got a new program on here, some trailers and whatnot, and then an essay by Paul Grimstad. Yet again, another one brand new to the collection that's going to be incredible. I'm so eager to see this one.
Yeah, I've never seen this, but Thelonious Monk, I mean, it's Thelonious Monk, right? Like, let's go. I can't wait to see this.
Next up is Midnight, coming on Blu-ray on June 17th. This is from 1939. This is one that a lot of people have been clamoring for, hoping to cross off their list. And finally here, new 4K digital restoration on this one. New audio commentary with Michael Koreski. New program featuring an audio excerpt of a 1969 interview with the director. We've got the Lux Radio Theater adaptation of the film from 1940, a trailer, and then an essay by David Cairns. Really fun cover on this one, too. I like this.
This is one of those movies that I think people would be shocked at how kind of it doesn't feel like a movie from the 30s or 40s in the content. Like, this is a screwball comedy about how a woman is hired to break up the affair of a married man. But it's like a comedy. It's not played like a melodrama. It's played like a comedy in the sense of like, this is probably a common thing. Like, let's make some jokes about it. And I don't know. It's an interesting, like, it's a fun movie. Like, and it's an early screwball comedy. So yeah, it's great.
Very, very eager for this one. And then we got 32 short films about Glenn Gould from 1993 coming on 4K and Blu-ray on June 24th. It says it's a rare film biography as boldly unconventional as its subject. Writer-director Francois Girard's visionary portrait of iconoclastic, world-renowned pianist Glenn Gould explodes the conventions of the form to illuminate the brilliant mind and innermost obsessions of a singular artist. This one has a brand new 4K digital restoration, new audio commentary with Girard and the co-writer and actor Don McKellar. We got a new conversation between Girard and the filmmaker Adam Egoyan, which is really great. We got a couple archival pieces here, and then essay by Michael Kreski. This is super exciting. I'm glad this is getting a 4K release. That's a big deal. Yeah.
This guy, Francois Girard, is Canadian, if I remember right. I think he's a French-Canadian guy. And I think he's the guy that did the Red Violin, which got some attention. He just seems somebody who's obsessed with music because he's done a lot of like live shows as well. He's somebody that's very tied into the art scene, and not strictly a filmmaker is my point, I guess. And so it's always interesting to see, I think, people that aren't like hardcore, just like cinephiles but they want to like make a movie and they want to like tell the story of Glenn Gould in like this interesting way. I don't know. Like, I can't wait to see this. I haven't yet, but I can't wait to see it.
Terry saying he saw this one in theaters, making me jealous.
That's cool.
And then the most exciting one for me this month, Sorcerer from 1977, getting a 4K and Blu-ray release from Criterion on June 24th. A lot of people unhappy with this cover art. I actually really enjoy this. I think this is a really fun modern take on the cover of the Jeep. What I laughed at, somebody said this looked like the little coconut monsters from Moana created this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the artwork, but I don't care. Like, I'm so happy this movie's coming out. Like, what a movie.
It's a big deal. This is one that's not had a great restoration in some time and really deserved one. So glad this is getting out there. This will have a 4K and a Blu-ray disc. This is a brand new 4K digital restoration. We got the audio soundtrack approved by William Friedkin. There is a uncut documentary from 2018. This is one that you could have gotten previously, but the fact that it comes with this is really damn cool. Some new conversations between James Gray and Sean Fennessy. You will probably recognize that name since you're into physical media. We've got archival audio interviews with Green and the editor Bud Smith. And then I want to highlight specifically, they also include the 2015 conversation between Friedkin and Nicholas Winding Refn, which is the legendary conversation where Friedkin basically roasted him straight to his face. So glad that's going to be preserved on disc. We also have a new essay by Justin Chang. Exciting release here.
Friedkin's like the good version of what Paul Schrader has become.
Yeah.
It doesn't care at all. It just like rips on people.
Absolutely. This is a very exciting one. This has had multiple releases before, and none of them have been truly astounding. And I really hope this is this.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about Audie Murphy last week, but they also announced that on June 24th, we're getting the 5th Audie Murphy collection. This one's going to include Walk the Proud Land from 1956, Seven Ways from Sundown from 1960, and Bullet for a Bad Man from 1964. Anything about Audie Murphy that you would like to highlight there?
Who's
Chris?
that? Who is Audie Murphy?
He did a lot of Westerns.
Oh, that's why I don't know him. Yeah. I'll get around to them one day. It looks like there's 5 collections I have to go through. I'm sorry, I have nothing to add about westerns. Not in a negative way. I know they're beloved, and my grandpa thought he was John Wayne. So there's a.
Was your grandpa my grandpa?
Yeah, but no, I don't know Audie Murphy or have much to say about westerns in general.
Completely understandable. We've got another Kino announcement coming soon on 4K in the US is The Peacemaker from 1997 with George Clooney and a little-known actress named Nicole Kidman. This is directed by Mimi Leader, who also did Deep Impact. I don't think I've seen this one, but I don't know how. I feel like I really should have, considering when it came out, but I don't remember this one at all.
I remember... Okay, so when this came out, I have to preface this. When this came out, I was 15, so forgive me. But I remember being disappointed. I thought there was going to be more nudity in this one from Nicole Kidman when I saw it. And so I remember like a feeling of slight disappointment in this movie. But I probably need to see it again because I wasn't watching it for the right reasons.
Oh, so 15.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm Still Here, one of the best films from last year, according to pretty much everybody. This is getting a Blu-ray release in the UK on June 23rd from Altitude Film. No word on special features. I don't think there are going to be any on this one, but supposedly Fernanda Torres is incredible in this. Obviously, Oscar nominated for her role, so eager to see this finally. This is one of the big ones that I missed last year.
Is this the one from Brazil?
Yes.
Oh, fuck this movie, man. I'll see it eventually. I can't wait to see it. But like I've heard this is just like absolutely gut-wrenching sad. I'm not in the mindset to watch this right now with all the stuff going on politically. But like one day I'll get to this and I can't wait to see it. But yeah, I've heard this movie just like destroys you.
Literally, the first line of the synopsis says, Brazil faces the tightening grip of a military dictatorship. And that's enough.
Thanks, Vince. And I love Audie Murphy. Thank you for his service to the country for World War II. And I'll watch all of the collection by the next time I'm on. I'm sorry. I'm a deep apologist. And I love Westerns. I take it all back.
This one's interesting. March 18th, which if you'll notice was 2 days ago, we got a Blu-ray release as an Amazon exclusive from Tribeca Films. They've done a handful of these now, and they are doing a Bronx Tale one-man show from 2024. This is the Chaz Palminteri bringing his acclaimed stage show to a disc for everybody to be able to watch wherever you are. Glad this is coming out here. I've heard good things about this. Yeah.
I'm super skeptical about one-man shows in general.
I understand. I completely understand.
Chaz is a badass, though. If anybody can pull it off, he could probably do it. He's got range. I love Chaz. Not saying that ironically. I love Chaz Palminteri. One-man shows is pretty tough.
Next one. Film Masters is putting out Lighthouse from 1947. This should be available on April 1st. This is from their archive collection, which means there will be no bonus features on this, but it will have a brand new restoration, so it should look great. This is just one of those things where Film Masters is deeply dedicated to getting films out there on disc, and investing in the scan and restoration is what they can do for us, and it will be priced accordingly. So that's a good thing. Filmmasters does pretty incredible work.
Oh yeah. I'm just on the Wikipedia page trying to see if there's something I can latch onto to be interested in this movie. Nothing's coming to mind, but maybe if it's like a World War II veteran that's like a decorated something, I'll see it and I'll be super proud of it, and I'll be happy to see it.
Man, we got you to fold quick.
No, I love Audie Murphy.
May 27th, there's a Blu-ray release of Outlander Season 7 coming from Sony. I couldn't find any bonus features listed for this, and I gotta be honest, I've never even seen 10 seconds of this show.
No, when this show came out, I was 15, and I was impressed with how much nudity was in it. So I'd say it's a good show, But I haven't seen realistically I've seen 2 episodes, I think, and I was kind of like, I mean, all right, if I get around to it. But
Are you watching much TV in 2024, 2025?
Dude, I haven't seen like a modern TV thing except for the Great British Baking Show. I will always have time for that. But outside of the Great British Baking Show is what I wish Vertigo was. Okay, but I have, but outside of the best show on television, I have not seen much, and there's so much I want to see.
Now I want to see a version of Vertigo starring Noel Fielding. Oh man. Let's go to the next one. Megan Fox is starring in Till Death from 2021. This gets a Blu-ray release from Dazzler Media in the UK on May 19th. And what's crazy, I've heard this is actually really good. I've heard this is pretty great and like the best thing Megan Fox has done since Jennifer's Body. So I am going to check this out eventually, someday.
She strikes me as somebody that has good taste. Like the choices she makes for like, I mean, she got famous with Transformers. I know, whatever, but it seems like the stuff that she's been in, or at least that I can remember, like Jennifer's Body kind of stuff, always has like a little bit of an edge to it, or has like it's doing something interesting. So yeah, I'd see this one, and Karstick loves it.
Ronnie says, I love the baking show in spite of Noel Fielding, to be clear. I love Noel Fielding. What's wrong with Noel Fielding?
He's such a gentle giant. What's wrong with Noel?
He was great on Taskmaster. I love Taskmaster. Maybe the best show of all time. Oscilloscope is releasing The Cruise from 1998 on Blu-ray and DVD this summer, and you can pre-order this now on their website, on Amazon, a bunch of places. This one is says sailing the streets of Manhattan atop a double-decker bus. Timothy Speed Levitch waxes philosophical as the city's most eccentric tour guide. Speed's bombastic and psychedelic poetry is captured in the documentary The Cruise, the groundbreaking debut feature film from two-time Academy-nominated director Bennett Miller, who also did Capote, Moneyball, and Foxcatcher. So I need to see this.
Yeah, interestingly, I think this is really good.
Yeah.
He got famous for being one of the best tour guides, and this is sort of like a documentary around the way he explained New York, and like kind of awesome. Okay, Mary Berry is the original. Yeah, she's the best. Prue can't compare to Mary Berry. We could easily. Oh man, there's some OG baking show fans in here. Can we redirect this conversation to just like a baking show for 2 hours? Because Sue and Mel were okay. The person who I never really associated with it much at all, or like felt connected to it all, was the Danish woman, and I'm sorry I can't remember her name. No disrespect, but I just her jokes never landed. I don't know. I never got into her, but I love the.
Is her name Danielle?
No.
That was just a Dane joke. I'm sorry.
Oh. No, but the team this year is great. Yeah, I really want to see this, actually. Who's putting this out, The Cruise?
Oscilloscope.
Oh, hell yeah. Sandy Toxvig. Okay, no offense, R. Like, is that... Who is R on Discord?
That's Ronnie. Ronnie is not in our Discord.
Oh, okay. Okay, Ronnie. Sorry, Ronnie. I mean, I still watched every season.
I love that you just assume everybody in the chat is in the Discord.
you have a thriving community, Ryan Vero. Ronnie, join the Discord. It's great. Yeah.
Now watch Ronnie say, I've been in the Discord since day one. How'd you not know? And I'm going to feel terrible.
Yes. In conclusion, The Cruise looks great, and everybody should watch it. And Audie Murphy is the hero.
What a great book review. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sandpiper Pictures, another company that people just absolutely abhor, which I totally get. June 3rd, they're putting out a Blu-ray of Leaving Las Vegas from 1995. For those that don't know Sandpiper Pictures, this isn't going to be like a rave review or anything, but they used to be Olive Pictures. It's the same exact people. They have rebranded as Sandpiper Pictures, and they are legitimately just re-releasing things. They're not making new bonus features. If the previous disc had sometimes they port them over. They don't get new restorations. It's literally just to keep a title in print. And on that note, I'm fine with it. I like titles being in print. That's a good thing.
Sure.
the other hand of me, like Leaving Las Vegas is a pretty big title. This would be great to have a really nice release of this with new extras.
Yeah, no, seriously. This is like you could even see VSU or something putting this out as like some amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this could have been VSU. This could have been VSL. This could have been Cinematograph even.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, like it's the right time era. Olive Films had a great rep from all I know. Well, I know for sure that they had a specialty line that was like their Criterion line. Yep. And I can't remember the name of it right now. I have a few of them. Like they put out Bound on the line, and they put out High Noon maybe. Anyways, they put out a few titles.
Yeah. Is it like Signature Picks or something like that?
Something. But anyways, but those releases were great.
Oh, look at that. It was close. Olive Signature, says Jack.
Signature.
Yeah, and John says the artwork style is exactly the same as Olive Films too. Somebody on, I think it was the Blu-ray.com forums, somehow found an address for them, and it even matched up to where Olive Films used to be located. So, yeah. Yeah, they also did Bucket of Blood. Good job, Jack.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, put the rumor out that they stopped paying their taxes and had to bankrupt and then had to rebrand. That's what happened to Olive Films. Okay, that's the official story.
According to Chris Haskell of They Live by Film, not of the other two podcasts. Oh, man. Somebody from Sandpiper's right now just commenting, and it's going to come in and be like 30 lines long. The next one from them is A Midsummer Night's Dream from 1968. This is big one in home. David Warner, Diana Rigg, Helen Mirren title. Another one, just a re-release. Yeah, I know a lot of people love Shakespeare stuff, and this probably would sell very well in a fancy release, but you'll be able to get it for $24.95 for the next 5 years.
You know, Craig brings up something I want to circle back to at the end of the discussion when we talk about maybe if we could squeeze it in. Because, Craig, I think there's an interesting thing that's happening where, this is just my opinion, like if you put out a standard edition now, you're like the devil. But like, because of companies like Deaf Crocodile that are spoiling people with like amazing releases, right? And Vinegar Syndrome, I'm just saying you first because you're the best, right? But like all these companies are coming out with these like unbelievable editions of these movies. So if a standard edition comes out, I think people are like, pfft. But you know, like I don't know, there's room for that too, I think, right? So it's like
well, what's interesting is there is room for that, but like Mill Creek, we're talking about maybe like 7 or 8 good Mill Creek releases a year right now, and they used to do like 5 a month, and they were that company for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Olive was gone, and now back as Sandpiper, and there's been a handful of others, but to do a re-release is important. These titles, contractually, most contracts are only 5 years. A title like Malice, starring Alec Baldwin and Nicole Kidman and Bill Pullman, deserves to be on disc and available, but is it likely to get a huge release or a 4K restoration and, a 100-page perfect bound book? Probably not.
No. Who would do it? It's not a Severin title. No. So, no, I agree. Like these movies like this are kind of in a weird spot, right?
Yeah. So this is the next one, like we just mentioned, Malice from 1993. It's a Hitchcockian thriller, so Chris is going to hate it, but the cast is great. I had to. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I won't correct it.
The next one is Rush, coming on the same date, June 3rd, 1991, with Jason Patrick and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Jennifer Jason Leigh is incredible in everything she touches. Speaking of war heroes, this is about an undercover cop, and he was a seasoned veteran, and supposedly this is very depressing. I've never been able to see Rush, but I need to see it.
No, this one, for some reason, I know this is going to sound like a batshit crazy thing to say, but there's a movie called They Live by Horses. They shoot horses. They shoot horses, don't they? And Rush, in my mind, are a similar amount of like sad. I'm not saying they're the same movie, like by any means, but like they're these sort of like depressing movies that are both supposed to be excellent. Yeah, Rush is supposed to be amazing. I will see it eventually, but like I kind of have to be in a mood for it because it's just like I don't know, like I can't. These ones that are just like long, heavy, like I can't do that all the time.
ZPAM is asking, I don't think Olive put out Leaving Las Vegas before, though, did they? I thought it was just MGM. You're right. We are not saying they're only re-releasing Olive Pictures titles, because they've put out titles that Scream Factory's put out. They've put titles that anybody will. It's just a matter of they've rebranded, and now they're only selling titles that already have had an HD release, and they're not putting any money into special features or restorations at all. The imprint edition of Rush is great for anyone after the movie. It's in the neo-noir #1. Brilliant film. Dustin loved They Live by Horses.
Sorry. Accidental self-promotion.
And ZPAM says, seems like they're doing a bunch of MGM stuff. They are. A lot of boutiques don't really love working with the MGM. MGM is very, very restrictive about everything. I mean, they require certain things to never be in visual essays. They are very particular about restorations and all that stuff. It says it sounds like Kino Leftovers. Honestly, that's probably a decent shout there. It's titles that everybody's passed over, and they went, well, these are out of print. I bet they'll sell okay.
We have Fun City editions at home.
The next one from them is Great Balls of Fire from 1991, and goddamn if that doesn't seem right in line with what you just said. This is starring Dennis Quaid, Winona Ryder, Alec Baldwin, and Stephen Tobolowsky. Roller Boogie is the next one. This is from 1979. This is starring Linda Blair, and yet another one that a lot of people have already had from the previous release. Glad this will be in print, though.
I didn't know that Dennis Quaid was in a remake of Great Balls of Fire. That's funny.
In the 90s.
That's super interesting. Is his love interest like 12 or whatever?
Oh, God. I'm not sure. I've not seen it, but yes, probably. Then they also got Life Stinks, the 1991 Mel Brooks film.
This is how are they getting Mel Brooks movies? I thought all of his had physical releases already. Jack, I'll do the Sandpaper podcast if you'll come on, join me.
It will be 2 episodes. The first one will be normal, very long, and the second one will just be copying it. We're going to talk about Sandpiper again in just a minute, but Curzon, a label that you and I have discussed quite a lot, they're putting out a 4K of Orlando from 1992 on June 2nd over in the UK. Yes, this has been on 4K for a while in the Sony Classics.
Sony Pictures Classics.
Sony Pictures Classics, that's the title, box set, but it's not been released outside of that. So now, if you just wanted Orlando, which arguably many have said Orlando is the best Sony Pictures Classics title literally ever, now you can get just this one. Legitimately, that's like a lot of people's favorite.
Okay. I mean, they just have they have an incredible catalog. That's the fate.
Do.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Number 2, by the way. I'll stop at 2.
And everybody's saying she's 13 and his cousin.
Let's move on. It's a terrible joke about the Jerry Lee Lewis or whatever his name was, Jerry Lewis or whatever. Yep. And his marrying his 13-year-old cousin. I don't want to put too much attention to it. Don't.
So on April 29th, Sony is releasing Paddington in Peru on Blu-ray. This was released in the UK on 4K for anybody that is one of the 4K or die people. The hard part is the Paddington films are not from the same studio in the US, which means you're never going to get a box set. But in the UK, there is a 3-pack of all 3 on 4K.
What happened? Because the second Paddington movie is legitimately a great movie.
Yep.
I watched it because of the memes, but I was blown away. It's an amazing movie, but this movie, everybody hates it. Universally hates it.
I've not heard that. I will say I've not heard anybody say they hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because maybe the Vinegar Syndrome Discord is a little harsher than the regular, I get all of my movie
Don't
takes
say.
in Discord.
Oh, that's why you're so off tonight.
But yeah, like everybody in that very selective group universally hated it and called it a piece of shit and stuff.
It is a pretty selective group.
But so Paddington Peru is good.
I mean, I've not seen it. I've heard it's okay. I've heard it's lesser than the first two, which are known as masterpieces, essentially. But that it's so good.
Okay, Paddington 2 is just... Yeah, no, Aaron, I thought that was kind of the issue. Like, how do you compete with Paddington 2? But like, okay, Ronnie, that's good to know. All right, fine. I'll check it out. Because like, I love... Like, the second one was amazing. Anyways, we can go on. David Lean.
We can talk about Paddington all night. I can David Lean on you for that. That was a terrible pun too. Imprint announced these last week, and somehow I thought I posted these on Friday. I just didn't, and only posted it just a couple days ago. David Lean is getting a box set from Imprint on May 28th. This is David Lean Volume 1, so they got at least another box set coming from him. This is all Blu-ray and releasing in Australia, and in this we have from 1942 to 1948, In Which We Serve, This Happy Breed, Blithe Spirit, Brief Encounter, Great Expectations, and Oliver Twist. It's going to come in one of their signature hard box releases, and they've got a whole bunch of new extras on the titles. They've got, I mean, it's Imprint, so they're putting money into contextual extras. They're going to be great. New interviews on pretty much all of these, I believe. New documentary on the works of David Lean, Part 1. Part 2 will come in the next box set that they do on him, which is really exciting. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, this sounds incredible.
Don't sleep on Oliver Twist. If you have even the slightest interest in surrealism, I'll say it for the second time tonight. Oliver Twist is amazing. And Great Expectations also, like his adaptations of who was that? Was that Dickens?
Yep.
Charles Dickens, right? Yeah. He, like, I don't think it would ever be possible to capture the spirit of those books the way that he does, but also like brings them to life in a very exciting way. Like, you didn't like them?
No, I'm not saying that. I was going to argue that Muppets Christmas Carol did it better, but anyways.
Oh, well, no. Christmas Carol, there's no competition. It's the Muppets. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But for these two, like Great Expectations is a tough book to put into a film because there's a lot of dialogue and it's one of those books that your teachers like torture you with. You have to read it in school and stuff. But it made me appreciate the story. He nails it. And then Oliver Twist is even better.
Good stuff. And if that's not enough for you, as far as box sets, they're also doing the Laurence Olivier Shakespeare trilogy from 1944 to 55. So this will have Henry V, Hamlet, and Richard III. This will be same as the last one, 1,500 copies only, coming in a hardbox release with individual cases for all the films. We've got new visual essay on the film adaptations of Henry V by Martin Contario. On the Hamlet disc, we had a new visual essay on Olivier's Hamlet and the British War Effort by Contario. A new interview with the Professor Abigail Roquesson-Woodall. And then on Richard III, we got a new visual essay by Adrian Smith, and then a new interview with Guy Adams on the films of Olivier. For Olivier fans, and I know Stan is excited, hopefully to be able to get this one someday, to see this. This is a big deal to get all these in one box set for a lot of people.
Is this region C? Or like, do you know if this is region locked or not? Because they're just putting out a bunch of out-of-print Criterion stuff.
This is region B. Australia falls under region B. Region C is only certain parts of Asia.
Oh, okay. But is it like region B or is it like...
It will be region free. It'll say region B on the back, but it'll be region free.
Okay, yeah. Because these movies are all amazing. Like this set, Laurence Olivier, I think like he's someone that people don't talk about a lot anymore because I don't know for whatever reason, but like these movies are all excellent. They're very, very well made.
Yeah. And if you want more information on Olivier, Stan, who is a super fan, or a Stan, as it is called, wrote one, but we had to divide it between two issues. Very long pieces on Olivier that you could check out. The Physical Media Advocate from last year. Really, really interesting takes. I loved reading it. Then their third box set for this month, also coming on May 28th, is Film Focus Carol Baker from 1961 to 65. This is going to include Something Wild, Sylvia, and Harlow. Sylvia is a first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. And as usual, you got new extras on here. We got a new interview on Something Wild with Foster Hirsch, new interview with Lucy Bolton on the career of Carol Baker. We've got on Sylvia, where is that? New interview with Foster Hirsch again, new visual essay on Carol Baker by Daniel Kramer. And usually he does stuff on directors primarily, so it's interesting to see him break out into this. And then on Harlow, we got a new interview with Foster Hirsch as well, so brand new extras on all three. Pretty exciting to get these as well. I know there's a lot of people that after Severin put out their Lindsay Baker box set, they got real excited about Carol Baker, and she's gotten some love over the last few years.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's any ties to that, but that's cool. This is all in the same month?
All three of those are in May from Imprint, yes.
Jesus, what a month.
This one was announced later, but also coming from Sandpiper Pictures on the same day as all those ones we talked about. This is The Charge of the Light Brigade from 1968. David Hemmings, Vanessa Redgrave, just, small names in classic Hollywood cinema.
Interesting. There's that label. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name right now. Love the guy. He's a one-man shop. He puts out a lot of silent films.
Ben Modell is the owner.
No, not that one.
Oh, not that one.
Not Undercrank, but he's on the left coast, and he put out the the Duvivier set, and he puts out a lot of what's his anyways, they also have a line that they tried out for a while because they were putting like $40-$50 releases out. And Flicker Alley, thank you. And they also put out a line of like lesser features and sort of like a quicker like a less put together package, for $20, $25. I wonder how that's doing, by the way. That Sandpaper kind of is making me think of them.
Interesting. I mean, Flicker Alley is doing a lot more work than Sandpaper, I will say.
Yeah, maybe it's not fair to compare. Yeah, but I know they were just. It's kind of like Janus Contemporaries is another one. Like there's some of this that they're, Eclipse was doing it on DVD, right? They are like there is somewhat of a history. I'm trying to give the people from Olive some love if possible. Like there is some history of like physical media companies doing this kind of thing, I guess, right?
Not Flicker Alley, though. I will say Flicker Alley has always been really great on the restorations and the extras.
True.
Kino on May 27th is releasing a lot of stuff. This first one, and most of them actually we had already heard about previously, but we got some extras.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me find the name of the line. Because Flicker Alley is amazing, but there's a line they tried that's like their like budget line, and they even announced it as that. That's all I'm talking about.
Cinema of Discovery? Is that what you're talking about? Because that was what the Duvivier set was.
No. They specifically had a whole line that came out that was just because when he came on They Live by Film, he talked about this. It was a whole line, Flicker Fusion. So it was 6. Okay, maybe they stopped making them, so maybe it didn't take off. I hope it did, but yeah, like right now, some of them are on sale for like $5. Unfortunately, darn. Well, I hope it takes off for him. But the whole thing was just like it was meant to be this like budget thing. Is my whole point.
Right?
No. The take is not that Flicker Alley is cheap. No. They're one of the best at restoring and giving love to like classic cinema. Forget it. I'm digging myself into a deeper hole.
It is a good point here from Craig. Sandpiper is not budget. They're literally charging $25 for re-releases with no bonus features.
Okay, fair enough.
Budget should be like $15 for those.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I was saying, Kino Lorber on May 27th releasing a bunch of titles, bunch of ones that have been announced, but now we're talking about extras. This first one, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead from 2003. Clive Owen, classic movie. A lot of people love this. Obviously, it's Mike Hodges, and that's a big deal. no new extras on this whatsoever. They did carry over the audio commentary, featurette, some deleted scenes, but nothing new, which is kind of crazy on this one.
Who's the second actor in that? Is it it's Jonathan Rhys Meyers? Yeah, Jonathan Rhys Meyers. This is a fun one. That's a good movie.
Next up is Nathan Hayes. We had talked about this previously. This is with Tommy Lee Jones and Michael O'Keefe. This is also getting a blue on May 27th. This will have a new audio commentary by Dwayne Epstein and a second new audio commentary with Mike Leader and Russell Waltz. Or wait. What am I waiting for? So that's cool. They gave this one 2 new commentaries, but not a new one on I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, which I feel like you could have done a lot on Hodges on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Is this Mike Leader? Is like our Mike Leader? Like the Mike Leader?
Yep.
Way, good for him. I know he's wanting to get out of just doing Hong Kong stuff. Good for him.
Yeah, both Arna and Mike have been they're not feuding or anything, but they've been separating and doing more of the things that they each individually love rather than just the martial arts stuff, which is really nice to see them be able to do.
Yeah, good for them. That's cool.
Then we got Last Breath, which is a movie from 2024 that I've heard is incredible. This is coming on April 29th from Universal, and it stars Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, and Finn Cole. It's about deep sea divers, and they're battling some elements as their crewmate gets trapped underwater, and they're like getting dragged along the bottom of the ocean. With like the anchor being dragged and all kinds of stuff going on. It's supposed to be great. You got an audio commentary on here, and it's got making of and a couple more things that they didn't announce, which probably means like subtitles or a trailer, and that's it. Usually when it's a studio disc, you don't say and more unless there's going to be something great.
Yeah, this has I can't remember where I've seen it. There's a really funny meme about one of the actors in this movie named Cliff Curtis, because he's used to play just like any like brown character. Yep. And it's a really funny either YouTube maybe darn, I can't remember where I saw it now, but it's I'll try to post it in your Discord and then separately for Ronnie, because he hasn't joined yet. But
Ronnie is definitely a woman, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. She hasn't joined yet. Sorry, Ronnie. But I'll post it if I find it. It's funny because he's very self-aware, just playing like any ethnic character. I think he's
Stan is saying Cliff Curtis is great in Sunshine. When do we get a great release of Sunshine? That movie deserves some contextual extras.
Heck yeah.
All right. Next up after Last Breath. Hey, this features you as well. The brand new issue of the Physical Media Advocate is finally printed. We had like 4 things get in the way this month. This was supposed to come out on March 1st and just barely went to print. So you can check this out on Amazon and in retail now. Also, if you are a Patreon subscriber, those are ordered and they will be on the way to your house soon. If you are somebody else who wants one of these, you can subscribe at the Patreon, buy a single issue from me, or go to Amazon, whatever you want. But this one, I wanted to bring up tonight because we never talked in depth about what you've done for Physical Media Advocate so far. What are you covering in Arrow Alley, sir?
So specifically in this episode, in this edition, or in general?
The whole thing. It's all been one ongoing series.
Yeah. So like that was just I thought it would be kind of fun to track the first 100 titles that Arrow put out, because it's like a film school in a box, like for genre and exploitation movies. And there's a great artist called Elizabeth Yu that I went out and I commissioned a piece of art for. Maiko Kaji. It was like this blood dripping. I don't know. I loved it when she showed me. And I just wanted to kind of like, I think, we don't talk Arrow's on an interesting trajectory because they've become they've just been putting out like a whole bunch of like big titles now, like huge Hollywood titles now, but their origins are, horror and genre and exploitation from like every country. And so there's like Greek stuff, there's a ton of Japanese stuff, a ton of Italian, Spanish, like it's cool. Like I really love the first 100 movies. So the segment's called Arrow Alley, and it's anywhere from 2 to 4 movies a month that, or I mean, an episode that go in there, and it's an honor to do it because the Physical Media Advocate, I was there when you were kind of brainstorming the idea, and it's like really taken off into becoming something that I'm really proud to be a part of.
It's an honor to have you. I mean, to have Elizabeth's art in there is really incredible too. Look at that. Stan giving you some very specific love. Every single month we talk about it. So yeah, appreciate what you've been able to do. The rest of the stuff, there's a lot in here. One of my favorite pieces, Stan got a couple people that he used to work with at a video store literally decades ago, and they all got together and just reminisced about working in the store. And we got pictures from back in the day, all in the issue. Check it out. We did a really fun piece on bad movie posters this issue, and oh my God, you're going to love some of them that you've probably never seen before. It is a fun issue. Check it out. Yeah. Umbrella. These all got announced in the middle of the night last night, U.S. time, and this is a huge freaking month from them. These are coming on July 9th in Australia. This first one is a Blu-ray release of Intacto from 2001. Not one I've seen, but some gorgeous art on this one. They've got a great set of extras on everything this month. This one is going to have a 48-page booklet in it. We've got a new essay, rigid slipcase and all that, reversible poster, numbered release, new interview with the co-writer on this film, the next reels Andy Nelson and P. Wright talk about the film, archival commentary. There's a short film on here, lots of making of. There's a Max von Sydow trailer reel, new stills gallery. Like, there's a lot on here.
Oh, this movie, man! I haven't thought about this movie in a while. This movie's awesome. This is how I learned of the term magical realism.
Nice,
because I was like, what is going on in this? And then I was researching it, and then people that were smarter than me were talking about magical realism. Yeah, this movie is really good.
It's good to hear. I am very much considering this one. I've not been compelled for something like this in a long time. This looks incredible. Next one is another one that somehow I've missed, but Jeremy has been talking up to me all day. The Science of Sleep from 2007, a Michel Gondry film. Also getting a big Blu-ray release on July 9th. This is also with Charlotte Gainsbourg, who's great, that you and I talked about last year on a couple episodes of They Live by Film. 48-page booklet in this one. Limited numbered release. We had a new commentary by Gregory Ferris. We've got a Dream Spaces, the artist Andrew Frost on the Science of Sleep. Clayman Making of Art featurette. Archival commentary. Lots of other stuff coming in this. This looks like a pretty incredible release. Not to mention the packaging they're putting together for this film seems to really fit with the style of this movie. And just knowing that it's a Michel Gondry film, this looks really incredible. You can even get a calendar. That's
cool. You know, Michel Gondry's one that, like, if you like his stuff, you'll like his stuff, right? Like, I love this movie, and he's my favorite that I like to talk about if we ever have to talk about like practical effects and perspective and just doing stuff. Like, he'll instead of using a CGI or whatever, he'll all right, sold, Ryan. That's all I needed to hear. I love Heat. He's the kind of guy that would rather create one set that's like all black and one set that's all white with clouds, and then transition the camera so it looks like they're going from sleep to waking up. Like, he would rather do that physically than through any kind of animation. And it's cool. Like, the behind the scene features for his movies are always as interesting or better than the movies, because seeing the way his brain works, it's just like he's an actual magician. Some of the stuff that he does, it's really, really, really cool. And I think this is an underrated movie. This is a fun one.
Key Ray is pointing out this is the biggest month for Umbrella on record. And shout out Key Ray. If you are active on Facebook, he runs the Umbrella group and goes live every time they're doing announcements, just to hype them up and get a bunch of people. I think he's pretty close to a full Umbrella collection, if I remember right. Like, like a full Umbrella collection, like for the last couple decades. Like trying to get all the DVDs. I'd love to know how far away you are, Q-Ray. Let me know in the chat here.
The full Umbrella sounds like a sex thing, but
in Australia it is.
In Australia it is. But that's super impressive. Thank you, Carrie, for your good work.
Next up from them is another big one, Ozploitation Rarities Volume 3. This is going to cover 1975, 82, and 85. And we've got Scobie Malone from 75. We've got Goodbye Paradise from 82. And then The Empty Beach from 85. All of these are getting brand new Umbrella restorations, so they're going to look incredible. This is going to come, if you buy the deluxe box set, it'll have a 48-page book, some poster cards, reversible posters. It'll be a limited number release, and their first two Ozploitation sets are incredible. This has new commentaries with the filmmakers. It's got interviews with the producers. It's got a lot of stuff. I mean, literally all three titles, brand new extras. This is a pretty incredible set, especially if you're looking to get into Ozploitation. To get 3 restored titles from an Australian company that's proud of them, this is a big deal.
I love the work they're doing with Ozploitation. Ryan, I hope I'm not wrong with this, but I think some of the ones from the first box are part of the partner releases with Vinegar Syndrome. I think. I'm sorry if I'm leading you astray, but I do think there's another way to get those. But yeah, these are must buys. The Ozploitation movies are so fun,
especially when they get brand new restorations. They look amazing.
Yeah,
there you go. Key-Ray confirms I have a full set and always up to date. That is wild.
Is that more impressive than a full Criterion collection? What's Umbrella up? They put out a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't even like come over. We don't talk about.
Well, and not only this is not only like current and Blu-rays, but like DVDs from more than 10 years ago. Huge number of titles from Umbrella. I love watching your face when a new comment catches your eye and you just lost for a minute.
I was thinking of, I don't know if Aaron's comment is a reference to The Office, but that's a great episode from The Office.
Then we've got Neverland Nightmare from 2025. This is the third film in the Twisted Childhood universe, otherwise known for many people as the Poohniverse. Since the other two are the Winnie the Pooh movies. This is going to include one of their kids' books that they did for the first two of the Winnie the Pooh books. It's a 16-page book. You've got deleted scenes, 16 art cards, and some more. Lots coming in here for a movie that does not look great to me, but I know a lot of people love those Winnie the Pooh movies.
They're pretty low on my list, on my watch list, but one day I'll get to. I mean, it's a cute little concept thing, right?
Paul says Umbrella has titles that they don't even have a record of. They released so much between 2004 to 2008, and I mean, Key-Ray for a while was posting like, I got another haul from eBay, and it's like 17 DVDs that are all super hard to find, and he's just like crossing them off his list. It's crazy.
Wait, is Key-Ray like Daisuke, but
for Umbrella? He's the Australian Umbrella Daisuke.
Wow, what an honor!
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That works for me. I'm sure you're into this next one. This is already on people's list, and it hasn't even been released yet for the best release of the year. Umbrella, on July 9th, putting out a Michael Haneke box set called... I love that it says Neverland Nightmare at the top still. I'm an idiot. This one has 15 films in this box set. Holy shit, Key-Ray. Umbrella has... The DVD count is around 4,500, and you have around 900.
I didn't realize they were that prolific. So yeah, that is more impressive than the Criterion collection.
Jeez.
So my name for tonight is incorrect because of this box set. So right. I'm very excited about this.
So they are putting out 3 Paths to the Lake, Lemmings Part 1 and Part 2, Seventh Continent, Benny's Video, The Rebellion, 71 Fragments of a Chronology of Chance, The Castle, Funny Games 1997, Code Unknown, The Piano Teacher, Time of the Wolf, Hidden, also known as Cache, The White Ribbon, and Armor. What's interesting to me is I think this is only missing 2 of his titles, if what I read today is correct. One of them being the Funny Games remake, which does have a Blu-ray, but only in like the UK. And
then the one about old people, right?
Yeah.
Amore, I think it's called.
Something, yeah. And a lot of these, yes, have been released from some other places, but literally every single film in this has incredible extras, a lot of brand new stuff. Some of these have never been on Blu-ray before. This is a massive, massive get for Umbrella. This is huge.
Yeah, I my mind is exactly where Brendan's is. Thank whatever God you believe in that Curzon didn't get this and Umbrella did.
Yet.
Okay.
Curzon's in the UK. They could still release their own.
True. True. But jeez, I didn't realize Umbrella was this prolific. That's crazy. I'm learning a lot. 350 Australian. Yeah, but the exchange rate is good. It's only like $85 US.
Only $85 US. That's funny. Oh man. Yeah, this is wild. It's going to have a 100+ page hardbound book in here exploring the films of Michael Haneke. Includes a bunch of essays. It's got a 16 by 20 inch canvas poster, custom die cut rigid case, limited hand numbered release. Sorry, not hand numbered, just limited numbered release. And then on top of all that, like I said, extras galore. So on Lemmings, there is Alexandra Heller-Nicholas doing a visual essay on those films. We got an interview with Haneke that's brand new. On the Seventh Continent, new commentary with Allison Taylor. Thomas Caldwell is speaking on the Seventh Continent. On Benny's Video, new commentary with Emma Westwood and Stephen Russell. A lot. There's so much that is coming on these. It is wild how much we're getting. New commentaries on most of the titles, new interviews on a lot of the titles. I really do just wish it must have been something with licensing. It would have been great if they were able to get all of the titles.
Yeah, I don't. If anyone wants to who is somebody said, Paul, you've only seen Piano Teacher. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be talking about Funny Games, rightfully so. But don't sleep on The White Ribbon. That movie is super, super good, and I think it's going to get rediscovered through this set. Yeah, but I remember I saw White Ribbon in theaters, and I just remember feeling like, holy cow, like why aren't more people talking about this? It's a really, really, really good movie.
Wanted to shout out specifically on Hidden or Cache. William Bibiani and Whitney Seibold are on the commentary. I think they both do a visual essay or maybe a commentary for another title as well. I think it's Funny Games, actually. Bibiani has been on the channel. He's a friend of mine, really great critic. Check him out. He does incredible work and does not get enough love.
That's awesome. Yeah, Cache you can't really call it a jump scare, I guess. That's not fair to it. But it has one of the best surprise, just brutal, shocking moments, I think, because the whole film kind of builds suspense and you have a lot of false starts, and then when it hits, it hits in such a great way. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, I agree. It's it's a great movie.
Brendan wants to know how many of these are HD debuts. Aaron, I think I remember him having that answer earlier. I think it's 2 or 3 are HD debuts. Something like that.
Restored by Sandpiper.
Stan, the remake of Funny Games is not included. You are correct. It is just the original. Haneke himself directed both of them. And there's got to be something worldwide with the rights that it's not able to get another release because it should have had one by now. And no? Do you not like either one of them?
No. The original Funny Games is amazing, but the remake is why? There's no point for the remake. Don't just watch it.
I disagree fully, primarily because of the chemistry and the actors in that one. I prefer the actors in the remake.
Hard disagree. It's the most unnecessary thing. I will say it's better than Spike Lee's remake of Old Boy.
pretty much everything is. But I mean, I love Naomi Watts. She's incredible in that, and Tim Roth is amazing, and Brady Corbet, who was just a big renowned filmmaker for last year for The Brutalist, was also in it.
I think if I hadn't seen the original first, if I had seen the US one first, I'd probably be like super into it. But it's just like the original, but worse. Like, why would you remake it? There's no point.
It's not worse, man.
No, it's like the same thing. It's like there's a difference between the original idea versus someone being like, okay, I just need to do that when I act. I love all those actors in it. Like, I'm not like I would, they're all great. No, like
it's the same director purposefully making a shot by shot remake. Like, that's not worse. All right. Carrying on.
It is better. It is better that he did it for sure than like some cheesy American studio that does not giving him credit or something.
Exactly.
It that is better, but I still like why? There's no reason to remake it. Thank you, KB.
KB says watching back to back. That sounds like an awful afternoon. I gotta admit.
No.
Oh, that would be awful. But for some good news, not that wasn't good news. That was great news. April 22nd, we are getting a 4K steelbook of Tombstone from Disney. Yes, the 1993 Touchstone Pictures Tombstone. This is a pretty huge deal. We don't get many of these. This had a brand new 4K restoration show up on like digital providers recently, and this will not have new bonus features or anything like that, but it will have the same Blu-ray that was in, I think it was the 2011 release, which will also have the slightly extended cut that will not be in 4K. Only the theatrical version will be in 4K. Incredible movie, one of the best Westerns of all time, because I don't love Westerns either, but this one's amazing. How do you feel about Tombstone?
No, it's amazing. I love every second of it. It's super catching. And I don't buy a lot of steelbooks, but there's a really good edition of Tombstone out somewhere, isn't there? Not really?
None.
Okay, I might get this then. Yeah, this is a great movie.
The Blu-ray from 2011 is the best, and it's pretty bad.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the DVD. There was like a really nice DVD of this, I think, that I still have.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. No, it is the DVD I'm thinking of. But, okay. Well, maybe I'll get this.
Indicator, which it seems to be like they don't announce a lot lately, but then they come out of nowhere and announce some bangers today. June 23rd, 4K and Blu-ray releases in the UK only of Carnal Knowledge from 1971 with Mike Nichols, Jack Nicholson, Candice Bergen, Art Garfunkel, big names, and Margaret. This one is going to be a 4K UHD presentation with Dolby Vision if you get the 4K version. We got a commentary with Justin Bozung on this, a name I don't think I've ever heard before. We've got Mike Nichols and Jason Reitman in conversation from 2011. Richard Ayoade providing an in-depth appreciation of the film and its director, which is pretty damn exciting. Love Richard Ayoade. We've got a limited edition booklet coming in this as well with a bunch of stuff, including archival interviews, new essay by Brad Stevens, and some more, limited to 8,000 copies, 5,000 4Ks, 3,000 Blu-rays. Yeah, UK only title on this one. 4K is region free, so if you really want it, you got access to it. To me, this screams like a Kino or even Criterion. I could see putting this out.
I have not seen Carnal Knowledge before, but I love the way Richard Ayoade talks about movies.
Yep.
Like, absolutely. That guy loves movies.
He really does. If that's not enough for you, they've got A Day at the Beach. This is coming on Blu-ray in the UK on June 23rd, and then June 24th in North America. This is going to have a 4K scan of the OCN by Indicator themselves, 2 presentations of the film, the original cut, newly restored, and then the extended version presented from a SD master. We've got the original audio on this one. There is a feature-length documentary on the producer from 2015 that they're including. Behind the camera archival documentary that they're including. New English subs, and then a limited edition booklet like they always do with their releases. This is a big one.
I'm surprised they're not highlighting this more, or the C word, carnal.
Close.
So,
Are you talking about it's weird that they're not marketing that Roman Polanski wrote it and they should lean into that?
yeah. I don't know, for some reason they left that out. But then also this has Peter Sellers, and I think it's interesting. He's credited as a queen. I don't know why he chose to credit himself that way, but he's in this. Yeah, this is a fun one. This is a good one.
All right, that's A Day at the Beach.
It's a good movie.
And then final two titles. These ones are interesting because they don't get a lot of U.S. only titles or North America only titles. These next two are coming out in the U.S. only, no U.K. releases. This is The Gentle Gunman from 1952 getting a 4K and Blu-ray release. This is a interesting way to approach these. It's got a 4K presentation with Dolby Vision. It's going to have a 2025 director and screenwriter James Dearden introduce his father's work. There is a piece from The Guardian from 1983. That's an interview with Dick Bogard. A closer look at The Gentle Gunman from 2022. All Hands, a short film from 1940, and then a booklet as well.
Yeah. This is a shout out to Basil.
As I stated, yeah, we had to shout him out tonight. And then the last one of the best titles I've seen in a long time did I say Dick Bogard? Sorry, Stan, it's Dirk Bogard. Best titles I've seen in a long time. The Ship That Died of Shame from 1955. The other one from Indicator that's getting a North America only 4K and Blu-ray release. This is starring Richard Attenborough. And we've got a James Dearden introduces his father's work on this one as well. There is an interview with Richard Attenborough from 2001, an Uneasy Alliance from 2023, where an author and film historian Neil Sinyard delves into the world of Ealing Studios. We got a short film from 1940 again on this one. We got another limited booklet, and love the cover on this one too.
Yeah, I don't know much. I mean, Richard Attenborough is one of these guys that really sells it when he's acting. Like, he really goes for it.
Yep.
So this seems like a fun action movie. I haven't seen it, but I do want to see it.
Then April 29th in the U.S., we are getting a 4K steelbook from Warner Brothers of Lethal Weapon from 1987, and this seems to be some of the most divisive cover art I've ever seen. How do you feel about that one there, Chris?
What's wrong with people? Why would they put this as the cover for... This would be a better cover for Loaded Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not a cover for Lethal Weapon. Like,
no.
I mean, yeah, there's humor in the movie, but what the hell is this?
I feel like they couldn't get likeness rights, but even then... a picture of a gun with the words Lethal Weapon would have been better. No,
anything. This is this is horrible cover art. But both in the sense that it's not good creatively, but also it's not at all a representation of the movie.
No, not even a little bit.
No. They fired the art department. Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about Lethal Weapon, the movie itself?
It's great. It's wonderful. This is a we're going to talk about VSA a little bit later. This is not necessarily a VSA release, but this is the kind of thing that VSA releases are trying to be, right? This is a great, it's a perfect studio action movie. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Obviously, great writing from Shane Black, directed by Richard Donner. Fun movie. Interested to see it in 4K?
Yeah.
Error 4444 has started announcing more titles. The first one here is Alone from 2007. There is a collector's edition pre-order that they're going to be announcing soon. But this one, the trailer they put up looks pretty damn creepy. I've not seen this one, but it looks very interesting.
I love Error 4444 because it's rare that when they... it's rare that I've heard of a movie they put out, but I love them all so far. So I don't usually have a lot to say ahead of time with these movies. some of the early ones they put out were pretty much like classics that have been begging for a release for a long time.
Yep.
I don't know about this one. Maybe it's in the same boat. I haven't heard of it, but I'm a huge fan of what they're doing. The only thing I will say a negative about Era 4444, because I love these guys to death, I wish they had an option of no Chotskys. That's the only thing I would say.
I hear you on that one. This one is way ahead of time, but wanted to be able to point out that Film Masters is working with the 3D Film Archive to release in 2026 a 3D Blu-ray of Catwomen of the Moon from 1954. This premiered in New York 71 years ago. The 3D Film Archive is working on both of these. They've got both the left and right 35 millimeter master elements, and they're putting them back together. 3D Film Archive put up this long story about how both of the left and right elements were separated, and it's a fascinating story. Go check that out on their socials. But I'm glad they're doing this. 3D Film Archive does just astonishing work, and it takes them a while, but it's because they're putting their all into it, and this will look amazing as usual.
Catwoman of the Moon came out when I was 15, and I have to admit I was disappointed in the lack of nudity when I saw it.
I'm so glad that you knew in 1939 when you were born that you were going to be doing this show. Just a mere 86 years later. Ultraman Trigger. This is that one lone Mill Creek title I was alluding to earlier. May 6th, they are putting out Ultraman Trigger, the complete series, plus Ultraman Trigger Episode Z from 2021 and 22. They kind of do incredible work on all the Ultraman stuff, so I'm sure this will be great. It's not necessarily my style. I'm not into all of the kaiju stuff, but it looks incredible. And I did try with Ultraman, I promise.
Careful, because that was the hottest take of the night. I think I know what you meant to say, but not into the kaiju stuff. Isn't Godzilla technically kaiju? Like, isn't that just mean like monster movies?
No, I don't. I think there's more to it than that. And even then, I mean, I've been on record saying before, I'm not the world's biggest Godzilla fan. I'm trying to force it on myself and get into them more for sure.
Guys, get him.
I believe somebody will probably correct it in the chat, but yeah, I think kaiju has more to do than just monster movies.
No, I think okay. This is old information. I could be wrong. I think it means strange creature. I think is like the translation. But anyways, I think what you're trying to say, if I interpreting your...
No, you're right. It says it's a giant monster of a type featured in Japanese fantasy and science fiction movies and television programs.
But like the Ultraman series, I'm kind of with you on. That's why I want to like. There's a certain genre of Japanese movies where it's like people that are like big doing things or like silly
yes.
sort of more silly kind of stuff that's not like kind of like Power Rangers. Right? Yeah. And like I'm not necessarily into that, so I think I know what you were trying to say.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Good job.
Yeah.
Wayne's World 2. We just talked about this recently, but Kino's already announced details on this one. They're putting out Wayne's World 2 on 4K on May 27th. This one is going to have all the same extras that it had previously. Nothing else brand new. It's got an audio commentary with the director. It's got extreme close-up featurette, some TV spots, and a trailer. But I will stand by the fact that I said I may like this one more than the first one. This movie is pretty damn good. Tokusatsu, is that the name I was thinking of?
Jack is just typing into hentai porn titles into Google, and he accidentally...
Now I'm doing it in another tab.
How do you possibly separate Wayne's World 1 and 2? They're both like amazing.
They're both incredible. Yeah.
And doesn't this one have Tia Carrere, or is that the first
They
one?
both do.
Or they both do? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean like, yeah, these they're both like, I don't know, they're classic comedies that age, and they age well. They're not just sitting there like with hard R's every 10 seconds or something like they're just funny, good comedies. No, you know what I mean? Though sometimes you watch Jackass and you're like,
yeah.
But this one aged well.
I want to point out the definition of tokusatsu. It says it's a Japanese term for live-action films or television programs that make heavy use of practical special effects. And that's the whole definition on Wikipedia. But it says kaiju is a subgenre of tokusatsu, which is very interesting. So I don't even know what I meant then, because it's clearly not everything involving practical effects. That's my favorite.
Ryan's taking practical effects.
Give me all that blood and CGI, please. Oh, man, that is awful. And then on the same day, May 27th, they are putting out their 4K of Kingpin that we talked about fairly recently. This one does get a new audio commentary with Brian Reisman and Max Every. Not sure. This will likely get a two-sided cover so that you could flip it around if you want, but they've not announced that part yet. I'm sure it will be coming soon.
You know, I wish, like, I don't love this cover. I mean, the artwork is fine, but it makes it look almost... You what?
This is a terrible poster.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because it makes it look almost like a Porky's or something. And, like, Kingpin is a really funny movie. And it's not... I mean, Porky's is funny, too. But, like, it's nothing like it. Like, it's... I don't know. It's a little... I think this poster is making it seem like it's some silly, slapsticky kind of thing. And, like... It has that, but it's not necessarily that. Like,
no,
it is a smart comedy, and it's very funny, actually.
Yeah, this is very, very good. That is it, my friend, for the announcements. We went through all of them. We do have one more thing to cover, like we always do. We've got what is coming out next week, in case you happen to have forgotten. And so we are leading with Night of the Creeps 4K from Scream Factory. Let me zoom out here just a little bit. The Brutalist 4K from A24. Night Moves 4K from Criterion, one that I'm looking very much forward to. Tommy Boy 4K from the studio. Don't Torture a Duckling 4K from Arrow. Black Sheep 4K from Kino themselves. Baby Girl 4K from A24. All of the OCN stuff for the month of March is going to be here, but nothing that is brand new announcements necessarily. The Glass Web 3D from Kino also this week. Star Trek Lower Decks, the complete series. Shaw Brothers Classics is continuing down their line of these excellent box sets. Have you gotten any of those Shaw Brothers sets yet?
Yeah.
The Shout Factory.
Which one is this one? Volume 6?
This is volume 5 or 6, one of the two.
I've got 4 at home. I've got them all.
They're so expensive, but they're so great.
So damn expensive. But like, yeah, and I don't mean to always shit on Shout Factory because I'm happy that they're putting these out. But like, I think they're using, I think in their brain, like commentary means like we did a good job on special features. And I know I'm being super nitpicky, so forgive me. I'm very happy they have commentaries. But what they did for these releases is they would get like 2 people and just have them alternate on commentaries for the whole set. And they did that, I think, in lieu of like a lot of interesting behind the scenes stuff. So I'm just hoping that I haven't listened to the commentaries yet. Maybe they got the right people and maybe they're amazing. I just hope that they are, because I think they didn't necessarily, like what Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or Mondo does, is they really give like the context for the film, and they get people involved and, you know, all this stuff. And I don't think Shaw's not really, I mean, Shout Factory's not really doing that. They're putting the commentaries on there. So I hope at least the commentaries do that.
They are doing some of that, just not as much as they should be. I would agree.
Yeah.
But your boy Frank Jang is on a lot of them, so that's a good thing.
Not as much as I would hope. Maybe this is just my way of saying I wish he was on more.
I completely understand that.
Yeah, no. But I wish. I mean, but the people could be great. Honestly, like I saw it and I was like, man, there's like so much to say about Shaw Brothers. I wish there was a little bit more. Yeah. That's all.
Well, they still have like 814 titles they can release, so we'll see.
I know.
Warner Archive next week. Magilla Gorilla, the complete series, The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
The Radiance release of The Eel, Diary of a Chambermaid from Kino, Sadie McKee from Warner Archive. We got Suddenly in the Dark shipping fairly soon from TerraVision. I don't think it'll be next week. I think it'll be shortly after that. Hitman from Warner Archive, Earth 2 from Warner Archive, The 10th Victim from Kino, and some standard editions from Arrow. The Lady is the Boss from 88 Films. Memoir of a Snail is coming out in a single feature release or a double feature release if you want Mary Max, which is also an incredible film. Hijack Highway from Kino getting its release next week. Monogram Matinee Volume 1 from Warner Archive. Curious to see how they take that in the future. Hong Kong from 88 Films. An Amorous Woman of the Tang Dynasty from 88 Films as well. Bobby Joe and the Outlaw from Kino Lorber. They've got a couple others. Dance or Die coming from TerraVision the next couple weeks. Gushing Prayer as well. Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter is shipping now. And I think that's it for the most part. In Custody, the Proprietor from Cohen Media. Any of these you got pre-ordered or excited about here soon, sir?
I mean, wait, did you just pass Her Body as coming out in March 25th?
It's the standard release.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Her Body's cool. That's a good one. And Delicatessen. I would say if anybody hasn't seen Delicatessen, for the third time tonight, I'll say if you have even a slight interest in surrealism. No, you know what Delicatessen is, to tie it into tonight? It's a movie that reminds me the most of Brazil of any movie I've ever seen. Like, if you're a fan of Brazil and you haven't seen Delicatessen, fix that because you'll love it. No, I looked at what I spent on movies in 2024. I made the mistake of like breaking that out. And so I'm in a little bit of a slowdown on purchases. The Vinegar Syndrome stuff I'm going to buy, and like, I'm really, really focusing on like must-haves. So, like the Hanukkah set comes out and 2 months worth of stuff.
Yeah, the Hanukkah box is crazy. I know a lot of people that went pretty nuts today getting that immediately. So I'm sure that's going to be a big thing for a lot.
When we hang up, I'm going to get it to make sure I don't miss it, because I can't imagine what the aftermarket prices are going to be on that.
Yeah, that's a great question when it's already expensive and coming from a company that the shipping threshold is lower than the box set. So it's already free shipping. That's a pretty big sign.
Yeah. It's funny. I forgot to mention this earlier. By total coincidence. So there's a guy on Reddit named Tim, and he watches like 1,200 movies a year or something. He's just like always watching movies. And we started connecting on Reddit, another Reddit connection. And so once a year we do a director's series. We've done it a few years in a row. This year we're going through Michelle Haneke. And I thought it was interesting. We're 3 movies in. It's my fault that we're not deeper in. We started in December and I've been busy at work, but it's really hard to find his early stuff. So one of the things I'm most excited about are the early TV releases they put on there, because those are both on really, really bad prints on YouTube right now. So if you go on Reddit, you can find, and the boutique Blu-ray thing, there's 2 or possibly 3 movies from Michelle Haneke that are on there, and over the course of the year we'll finish them all. So the timing of this box set was like too good. I was like, wait, really? Because I bought all these random DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff that's come out. Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. So tonight we are discussing Vinegar Syndrome. We're going to be discussing the Sublabels specifically, not just the regular Vinegar Syndrome line. We're going to be comparing them, trying to define what they are, specifically these ones listed here. We've got Vinegar Syndrome Archive, Vinegar Syndrome Labs, Vinegar Syndrome Pictures, Vinegar Syndrome Ultra, Cinematograph, and Gausser Video. Distripix is sort of its own thing over on Melusine, and they got it listed here because they list a couple of them. But really, there are 6 sublabels that fall under Vinegar Syndrome. So we're going to be breaking those down, defining what they are, talking about some titles in each line, and then at the end, ranking our favorites in order of the 6 lines to go with Chris's podcast. It's a really fun conversation, I think, because you get to hear him covering all these on Punk Vacation. So go check out that show if you haven't. It's perfect. So let's get into this. Our first one up, which we probably should go in reverse order to end with the most controversial one. Let's talk about the Gausser Video. So this is the line you can see here on the screen, and I'll zoom in so you can read it. Degausser Video is a brand new label created by several of the devious minds behind VS, which will bring to Blu-ray deluxe editions of both canonical and underseen shot-on-video genre cinema, in addition to work shot on film but edited on tape, wherein the original film materials are believed to be lost or destroyed. Similar to Vinegar Syndrome's focused on film preservation, Degausser will work only from original analog tape materials with an emphasis on maintaining the aesthetics inherent to each respective video format. Additionally, each title released by Degausser will be made available in an ultra-limited new VHS edition fitted in a custom-designed hard-shell light box, which I don't have any of, so I can't speak on the first-hand knowledge of those, but they are pretty interesting, to say the least. So let's talk about Degausser. What are some of your favorite titles that have come out on this line?
I know it's super controversial, but their transfer of if we take all the business practices aside, their transfer of Cannibal is awesome, and their release of Cannibal the Musical is awesome. And I do want to give love to the work they did on that film, because that, I should say movie, because the whole point is it's not shot on film, right? So that movie, right. It's really, really good, and they gave it so much love. And that makes me happy, because Cannibal is a great, fun movie. They have the VHS of Divinity that's showing there. It's not really like a Degausser title because it's put out, but if you haven't seen Divinity, check it out. It's really, really good and interesting. Redneck Zombies is amazing. They're killing it recently. Like Iced is interesting because the whole thing is got a very particular like the way they shoot in frame. They actually kind of put what looks like a ski mask that's broken in the middle and it has shards of glass up top and the bottom, but it looks like they attach it to the camera when they shoot, because it actually is like a POV through the lens of like a ski mask. So it's like a POV slasher kind of thing. It's interesting. It's cool. It's really I liked it a lot, actually. And then there's one, and it's from a director that only made 3 movies, and the name of the director is escaping me for a second. But Bloodcoat, that guy, he only made like 2 or 3 movies. It's interesting that they all have come out through like a Vinegar Syndrome, some part of Vinegar Syndrome universe, right. But they haven't come out through the same one. And then Herencia Diabolica is kind of, it's just a really fucked up movie. Like, it's super inappropriate on like multiple levels and is horribly offensive. But it's kind of fun.
Funny enough, that's the one that I was going to say is my favorite from this line so far. Awesome. I think it's a really incredible. It's essentially Mexican Child's Play, and it's. I won't say it's super well done, but it is very fun to watch. The biggest thing to point out here is most of these look pretty atrocious. And they say at the top here that they're trying to maintain the aesthetics inherent to each respective video format. That being said, the thing here that really kind of pisses me off is like these are coming out brand new limited editions. Like Iced was $29.99 for a pretty poor looking Blu-ray of that title with not a lot of special features. To me, it feels like it should have been significantly cheaper than $29.99.
It's selling out, right? Like, I'm not defending it. It's interesting, though, right?
I get it, yeah.
Like, for them, they're not being... The free market is not telling them to reduce their prices. It's telling them to keep pushing it, because all these... Degausser is the limited editions recently have been selling out pretty fast.
Yeah, and again, nothing against it. More power to them, whatever, but... I feel like, especially for Iced, because that's a title that a lot of people have wanted for a long time, kind of took advantage of the consumer market on that one a little bit.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, to put it in perspective, 38 Especial only has 2,000 copies in the limited edition, and they've only sold 900, right? And like that movie has been out almost a month already. Like it was announced in early March, right? So I do think it's title by title.
Yeah, I mean, Cannibal the Musical does not look bad necessarily. It's as good as that movie's ever looked, and honestly, these all probably look about as good as they've ever looked, or the best that they've ever looked. But with something like Iced, it genuinely looks really bad. It looks like a borderline YouTube rip of the film.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no defense for it. They kind of they warned you, so to speak, right? And they are true to their word on that.
Exactly. So I mean, you can't really fault them for it.
But Amanda Reyes, that commentary from Amanda Reyes is awesome, and Amanda Reyes is awesome.
Absolutely. Next up, Cinematograph. Now, this one is an interesting one. It is curated primarily by Justin LaLiberty. It takes its name because a lot of people don't understand this and ask why it sounds so French. It takes its name from the Lumiere brothers' invention of the same name. Cinematograph is a new sublabel from Vinegar Syndrome that seeks to fill gaps in the canon of American cinema, offering a mix of auteur-driven studio films produced during the new Hollywood era of the late 60s and 70s, all the way through the indie boom of the 80s and 90s. Cinematograph will explore the wide breadth of American movie making, spanning numerous genres and scales of production. Curated and produced by Justin LaLiberty, each limited edition release will be housed in a specially designed cloth-bound media book with embossed foil titles, custom molded disc trays, accompanied by a slipcase featuring newly commissioned art and an individually numbered J card. So this one is definitely going to be an interesting topic for a lot of people in the chat, because I know a lot of people absolutely hate the design of the media books. They don't want to see releases like that. I've also seen a lot of people say that they think the films in this line are terrible. And that one I don't agree with. I think that they've done a lot of really great titles. What do you think about Cinematograph as a whole so far?
Okay, so the design of the packaging is a little bit like having a cracker on a cracker. It's true.
Yeah.
Like, do you need like media book with a slipcover with the case and with the thing and with the string and like, I don't know. Like, what do they have slipcovers? No, they don't have slipcovers because they look like a book, right? So it looks like a book and it slides into the
case
for the box.
Book.
Yeah. So does it need all that stuff? Probably not. Like, is this, the Liberty, like having a free reign in a toy store and getting to like create something beautiful that he wants to see on his shelf? Like, yes, I don't mind it. I do, like, I have them all and like they're lined up and they look nice together. Yeah, it's probably a little overkill. That's fair. But the movies are, I mean, like there is some, there's a wide range of movies in this. There's some that I don't like, but like Shanks, like Joyride, like these Going South, like these are great movies. Like these are, I mean, I'm an Abel Ferrara fan, so like Dangerous Game for me was great. A lot of people don't like it as much. But like Red Rock West, even Little Darlings, they came out of the like there was some slam dunk, like just classic movies in this that Criterion could easily put out. There was the knock on them in the beginning that it's like that as soon as Fun City Editions left, like Cinematograph started, and like it was, they're kind of like cannibalizing that label. I don't know, like that's possible. Again, that's more of like a business practice thing. Just strictly on like what's coming out and the releases and stuff, I love it. Like I think Liberty's taste aligns with mine more than not. I think The Last Embrace is terrible, and like because that's up there on the screen right now. There are some bad movies in the line, but like I mean, based on the conversation tonight, God forbid y'all see my curated list of stuff that comes out.
Yeah, I mean, the note about Fun City leaving and their style being cannibalized is an interesting one, especially after we just talked about DeGausser. I mean, you can make the same argument that a couple labels started doing shot on video on Blu-ray, and they proved that people would be willing to buy them on Blu-ray, and VS said, well, fine, let's jump in. I don't know that that's the case, but it very well could be. With this line, I I get the style for a lot of them. I will say one thing. This is probably the most the line with the highest highs for art, but also the lowest lows for art for me. Like the cover of Little Darlings, I think we all kind of agreed is not great because they couldn't get likeness rights. But I think the choice to do like the coffee splatter or whatever it is just did not look great with that film. But something like Who Killed Teddy Bear, the cover of this one is genuinely incredible. I think the film choice here is really interesting. I mean, going all the way from Go Fish to Shanks within a matter of a month or two is that is pure range. I mean, William Castle, Ferrara, John Dahl, like the directors that you've chosen in this line is very interesting, at least. But I understand for a lot of people that the tastes don't necessarily align, but I don't know. There's some really interesting choices in this.
Bang the Drum Slowly is one that I would say if you're trying to show a sports movie to somebody that doesn't like sports, Bang the Drum Slowly is the perfect film because it's really more of a story about a friend who's doing everything in his power to help another friend. And it's a super sweet movie. And like, it's really good. And it happens to be about baseball. Yeah, I mean, guilty. You know, funny enough, I don't hate Hitchcock.
Yes, hilarious.
I defend Hitchcock a lot, and there's a book where Truffaut interviews Hitchcock, and I think it's literally just called Hitchcock Truffaut, but it's one of the best film books ever made because Hitchcock is an actual genius, and Truffaut is like a super fanboy who also is super talented as just a creative person.
Yep.
And like asks interesting questions. And so like if you're interested in a film book, there's a video of it somewhere, but there's also a book that came out of those two interviewing each other. That's one of the best things about film I've ever read. I'm cool with Hitchcock. I think he's a little bit overrated. I will say that. I think people like just, I don't know, like he's good, but I don't know if he's like Hitchcock. So that's my official position on Hitchcock since it's come up a few times. There's some movies like the one on the train. Oh, sorry, I can't remember it now. It's like amazing.
Strangers on the Train?
No. It's the one about where they. Oh, anyways, whatever. This is not a good live show. There's a few. I'll look up his films, and there's like a few that are incredible. 39 Steps is amazing. Lady Vanishes is amazing. Rebecca's amazing. Like there is some really, really great stuff. I just don't vibe with Vertigo because I think the character's a dick.
I mean, there's so many funny comments. Yeah, and Hitchcock, I believe, is KB's favorite director. So he's probably a little bit frustrated at the moment. All right, so that was Cinematograph. Going to our next one. This is the big boy. VSU, Vinegar Syndrome Ultra.
Okay, that's a good point, Craig. Sorry. Craig got me. Yeah, if you look at every movie where the main character is a dick, I guess it's not really fair to say that. I just didn't vibe it. Sorry, what were you saying?
Vinegar Syndrome Ultra. We've got 11 titles in total. We've got The Beastmaster, Stick String Samurai, Cloak and Dagger, Roadhouse, Sidekicks, Showgirls, Daryl, Southern Comfort, Navy SEALs, Congo, and Virtuosity. And they're right up at the top of these. It says VSU is a Vinegar Syndrome sublabel focused exclusively on, I love this word choice here, extravagant UHD Blu-ray releases of major 80s and 90s titles that might not always fit into the regular VS milieu. So these are giant boxes that are overly designed with magnets and a fancy ribbon to pull out everything. It's got the 4K and Blu-ray. It's always 4K, always pretty big titles. It's got a big booklet, and it takes up a lot of space on your shelf. genuinely huge titles here. I mean, we're talking Chuck Norris, Patrick Swayze, Cloak and Dagger, big one from a lot of people's childhoods. Beastmaster, the same. Showgirls is huge. Southern Comfort is a massive one. Navy SEALs was referenced in Clerks. Congo, pretty big title for a lot of people. How do you feel about the VSUs here, Chris?
It's interesting now that all of the lines are getting up, or most of the lines are getting up to like 12, 15 releases. Sorry. The one interesting thing I will say about most of the lines is that none of them really follow like a true pattern. Like if you look at VSU, it's easy to say it's like big Hollywood movies that they're getting access to, right? That's the comment I was laughing about a second ago. But like, Daryl doesn't fit in that category. It's like big Hollywood movies and also family movies.
Yeah, Hollywood and children's films.
Yeah, that they like, right? And
Showgirls.
Yeah, totally. No, sidekicks and showgirls next to each other is funny to see.
Well, look at the three in a row: sidekicks, showgirls, Daryl.
Yeah, no. So Paul, that totally, like, Roadhouse is incredible, and like I'll defend Six String Samurai to anybody. Like that movie's great, and like the Beastmaster is super fun. Southern Comfort is like super underrated. Like definitely go watch Southern Comfort if you haven't. But yeah, like even Virtuosity is super fun. There's not really like a way to define VSU, I guess, other than just saying it's like movies that, because most of the stuff we talk about with Vinegar Syndrome, someone at work would not have heard of the movie I'm talking about. And like, this is the line where like, there's a good chance people at work have heard about it.
So this line is arguably one of the more popular ones from Vinegar Syndrome, first of all. And it's literally because they are studio titles that they're going to sell well. But the big thing here is, and I think Anthony or somebody said it, or maybe it was Siminar. The big thing here is this feels like it's made for people that collect packaging. And I'm not to take away from these films, because stuff like Beastmaster is fun, at least. Cloak and Dagger is a really great movie. Roadhouse is borderline perfection. Totally get that. Showgirls is great. But I got nothing against Daryl. Did it need a giant 4K hard box magnet release? Probably not. And to fit that in between, like we just said, where does Daryl fit in between Southern Comfort and Showgirls? That is such a weird line that they're together. I truly do love some of these releases, and I do think some of them are deserving of it. Like Cloak and Dagger probably deserved this massive release because that was a genre-defining major childhood film for a lot of people. Daryl was not. I'm sorry. Daryl fell below that. Showgirls probably deserving of something like that. Navy SEALs? Probably not. Yeah, this is a weird one.
Like Navy SEALs could have easily been a MVD Rewind title, right?
Yeah.
So to think of that like contrast, right? But I have a theory about VSU. And this is why I'm glad the podcast is the unofficial Vinegar Syndrome podcast. I think that there is they have private equity came through for them, right? That's public knowledge. Like that's not so they part of the reason they're now investing in like making movies and like they're getting bigger titles is because they had a round of private equity come through for them. I think this line is one of the things it's for, not the only thing, but one of the things it's for is to raise the prices up a little bit, because if you buy a $60 VSU, then like a $35 movie sounds better. And I think it's like it's almost like them sort of figuring out where the market is. It feels more of like the move that somebody from like Wall Street would do to kind of understand like how much are people like us, like hobbyists, willing to actually pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's my fault. well, I don't know. I don't mean to take credit for it, but I was like very open about the fact that you could check their inventory count, and then they fixed it so you can't check it anymore. So I don't know if it's me, but I think like enough people maybe were talking about it. But I don't know how
think
these
we know the answer to that one, actually. But
you what?
okay. I think we know the answer to that one, but I won't say it.
Okay. Yeah. I think so too. But I don't know how these are selling though, which is an interesting thing. I mean, I don't. Are any of the VSUs sold out? Forgive me if they are.
Yeah, for sure. I
Like
believe
Beastmaster's probably sold out, right?
Beastmaster sold out pretty quickly and got a standard after that. I believe all the ones.
Beastmaster has a limited edition. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The box sold out, but the slipcover's still there. Okay.
I believe all the ones that are under $40 have sold out when we look at the prices here. So,
Okay.
Cloak and Dagger, Roadhouse, Showgirls, Beastmaster, Southern Comfort, I believe, are all the ones that have sold out the limited titles.
Okay.
Which is great. And honestly, this line itself probably pays for like most of the acquisitions for the year for Vinegar Syndrome, literally.
Okay, Beast, Cloak, Road, Showgirls, and Southern Comfort sold out. Okay, yeah, but that what you just said I think is important because they do need to have movies like The Keep that just fund the ability to put out blood tracks, right? So I don't mind that they're doing this. And other than Congo, which I mean Congo's fine, it's cute, but it's not necessarily anything like amazing about it. But other than that, this line, all these movies are at least fun.
Yeah, and the only one that okay, let's completely break it down here for a minute. Six String Samurai is a wild choice for a VSU.
That's true.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie, even though it kind of is. I think it sticks out like a sore thumb here because it really is the only one that was not like a huge studio title. It was not a title that had a giant fan base like some of these others. It is a really odd choice, and especially to have it be your second one on this line.
Yeah. But even like maybe they were testing here. I'm not going to defend it. I mean, I feel like my guess is they knew they had Roadhouse coming.
Yeah.
And they put a few titles before Roadhouse because they knew that would sell like crazy and then get people to look backwards. I can't remember if Cloak and Dagger sold out before Roadhouse did, but maybe it did. I can't remember. But if
I remember right, it did pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, people have been excited about, but that's the thing. 16 Samurai has a big fan base, and a loud fan base. It's just looking at the rest of the line, it stands out for sure.
Sivner, what does this mean? New York Ninja technically got a VSU release, but was a VSP. Are you just saying it had the same packaging? Because it was never a VSU. Because it's not a 4K. It's not a.
I bet he's talking about the packaging because it does have that like magnet.
Right.
Thing.
Yeah, it's not technically a VSU. It's just you just use the same packaging, and that's because they went all out with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of VSP, though, let's get into Vinegar Syndrome pictures. So this is the line. They don't define it at the top of the page here, but this is the line where they have at least a hand in the production somehow. So they're putting money into some of these and doing what they can to produce it. Most of these, Vinegar Syndrome will do some sort of theatrical run with it. Mm-hmm. And this is a wild, all over the place line as well. And so far, we only got 9. We've got Censor, New York Ninja, The Scary of 61st, Sick of Myself, Divinity, Riddle of Fire, 8 Eyes, Black Eyed Susan, and Street Trash. Now, this is a wild line because there's a couple titles on here that are pretty great. And a bunch of titles that I think are some of the worst titles on the entire label.
Are you going to highlight that comment or no?
Happily, yeah. Only because I believe I know who this is. How are you guys having a VS discussion without the mid-level dude? He's apparently an authority on VS. Well, we'll talk about that later off air. So out of all these titles, do you have a clear favorite on these?
Sick of Myself is must watch, in my opinion. New York Ninja is like super fun. Like it's a very, very fun movie.
It's also like a quintessential, you have to watch this because of what Vinegar Syndrome did to it title.
Totally. And it's super fun. Divinity, I seem to like Divinity more than other people. I think Divinity is fucking awesome, especially because the director, it starts off as this like, is this going to be a porno? Like, it starts off with like this crazy kind of like sex beginning, and this like, and then it turns into this massive epic sci-fi battle with like stop motion, clay motion, and like it takes it into like a whole like it's a very creative movie. Eddie something, I can't remember the director's name off the top of my head, but like if that guy gets a screenwriter, like he's gonna go wherever he wants to, because the script's a little bit messy, but like visually that movie's just amazing, I think.
Divinity is one of 2 on here I have yet to see, but I love the way you're selling it. It's
really, really good. Keith, that's interesting. You talk about Scary of 60. So Scary of 61st is like Possession on Temu. Just in the sense that like they took the chaos of Possession, and like it's just a very loud movie. It's like and very frenetic. I actually liked it too. I'm not selling it well, but like it's trying to sort of be Possession, and it's got an interesting tie-in to what's the Kubrick movie with Tom Cruise? Sorry, just blanking, and Nicole Kidman.
Well, and not only a tie-in, like they call it as like being in the same universe. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. And they tie it in at some point, and they make it's a very political movie. It's good. I am a Scooter McRae stan. Eyes Wide Shut. Thank you. Yeah. I'm a Scooter McRae stan, so I think Black Eyed Susan is wonderful.
That's the other one I've yet to see.
So good. Very dark. Like if y'all have seen Scooter's stuff, like he's willing to go there, and this is another movie where like he goes there. But it's really, really interesting topic, and he's a little bit of like a street philosopher type. Like he's the kind of guy that if you went like just sitting around 20 years old playing video games and like theorizing about life and being like, yeah, what if you took a sex doll? Like, could you beat the shit out of the sex doll? And like, would that be considered abuse or no?
Right.
And then he's like, wait a minute, that's a movie. And then he goes and makes Black Eyed Susan, and he brings in like a bunch of really interesting discussion around like basically that idea. And then he goes even darker at the end, but he does it in a very intelligent way. I love Scooter McRae. And then Street Trash, I seem to like it more than other people. I think it's really fun. It feels like an exploitation movie, honestly. And I think, well, I mean, it's a South African movie, right? Shot in South Africa, fully made by South Africans, and I don't know. I think it has a similar vibe. But Ryan Kruger we're scheduling now. Hopefully, he's going to be a guest on Punk Vacation in the future.
Nice.
But I honestly, regardless of that fact, I honestly think this movie's super fun.
So real quick for me, I thought Censor was okay, decent. I like the bonus features more than the movie on this one, I think. New York Ninja, it's quintessential. It's pretty good. But it's not, it's pretty fun, but it's not a good movie, period. The Scary of 61st is awful. It is god-awful, terrible piece of shit filmmaking. It is not worth anybody's time. Sick of Myself is great, genuinely really good. Riddle of Fire, genuinely really good. Eight Eyes, god-awful. Nobody needs to watch this movie.
I like Eight Eyes.
Eight Eyes is atrocious. The movie is nothing. Street Trash, one of the worst movies I've seen probably in the last 10 years. Not even kidding.
Your take is more common. I don't know. I thought it was fun, though.
They had ideas on how to do a couple special effects and said, let's not tell a story around it. Let's just be pure shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. I can't argue with it.
Yeah, this has possibility for some cool things in the future if they lean into stuff like Riddle of Fire and not into like it's. I think it's obviously from a marketing standpoint, it's smart to put money into a Street Trash remake because all of our fans of Vinegar Syndrome love Street Trash. They'll love a remake. Put it into better movies. This movie is god awful.
I don't know. I think history is going to be more kind to street trash.
That's a sentence I don't think anybody has ever said, ever, and even including the original.
I like the remake of Funny Games more than the remake of Street Trash. I'll give it that.
That's an easy bar to go over. The next one. This is how do they explain it here? So VSL is a VS sublabel that they're going to be expanding and defying expectations with a diversity of films that they restore and release. As the name implies, VSL, which stands for Vinegar Syndrome Labs, will serve as a kind of testing area for releasing genres and eras of film one might not immediately expect to come from VS. The ultimate objective of VSL will be to see if these types of films will find an audience, and if so, pursue and release more of them. And even if not, it still serves as a means of restoring more of the weird, rare, and unusual movies you might not expect from VS. So this is a very odd line. Again, they've not put out a ton of stuff. We've got Kuruku, Beast of the Amazon, Flesh and Fantasy, The Cat Creeps, Peter Solkin's Apocalypse Tetralogy, Guest House Paradiso, the films of Enrique Gomez Vadillo, Sex Mission, Five Card Stud, Story of a Junkie, Paganini, Interrogation, Bloodline, Neither the Sea Nor the Sand, The Terranauts, The Mansion of Madness, and then most recently, Peter Greenaway's The Belly of an Architect. Now, these are interesting because a lot of these are genuinely really great movies. It seems like they just thought, if we put these back on the Vinegar Syndrome line and subscribers got them, half of the subscribers would hate our guts.
Yeah. So Sibner, what's your first name? Is it Daniel?
It is.
Yeah, that's a great comment. Sorry, it's true.
A pack of gum, a single button, several paper clips, a menu for a restaurant that went out of business 5 years ago. This is VSL, the desk drawer of random things of Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't defend the label as a whole. There are some individual titles on this that are simply phenomenal.
Literally, yeah.
And shocking that Vinegar Syndrome has it in the sense of like, it could be a Criterion release, it could be a Second Sight release, it could be a Indicator, whatever.
Or it has been an Indicator release or a Radiance release. A couple of these have.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the Shulkins thing. That is just, I don't know, unbelievable filmmaking. Every single movie in that is better than the last.
Yep.
Guest House Paradiso is fun if you're into that British comedy. It's really violent and over the top slapsticky and silly, very, very silly. Yeah, it's a fun movie if you like that kind of stuff. Some people like the films of Enrique Gomez Vadillo. I honestly don't know what the hell they see in it. I'm really trying to find there's one called Death on the Beach where it has it's just funny death scenes, but they're not played for comedy. They push this person off a cliff and it just looks like this doll and it looks like a comedy, but it's not. And when people talk about it, they're like, oh, this guy is so influential and blah blah blah. I don't get it. But then you have something like Sex Mission coming out, which is just unbelievable. And more, I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. I'm assuming they just haven't seen it. Story of a Junkie is a very surprisingly touching and sweet movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, that Paganini is just batshit crazy, but in some fun ways. It's Kinski trying to make a biopic, if you can imagine, and he's fully on whatever he's on for that. Some people liked Interrogation a lot more than I did. I thought it was okay. I don't get the love for Bloodline. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Sorry, Ryan. Brian, you and I seem to be on a different wavelength tonight. I'm sorry. I don't get the love for Bloodline. I was really mad at the ending of the movie and how it ended. I was like, well, this is it? This is how it's ending? And then Terranauts is silly sort of Saturday morning sci-fi that's just nothing, stakes are never that high. It's kind of charming.
Specifically in London.
And then Mansion of Madness is this really surrealistic, like crazy thing, and I can't wait to see Belly of an Architect. I think anything that Greenaway does, I'll watch. But he's a weird dude, and I'm here for it. Like I like weird. But he did a 3. Imagine this. Like imagine pitching this. Okay, Brian. Sorry, I thought you were going to defend it. No, I didn't like it, but some people like it. But imagine pitching this movie. He made a movie called The Falls, which is 3 hours long, and it's a what's the word? Like a if you go on vacation back in the 80s and you would show you put all your slides together and have like a slideshow of the vacation. What are those little things called? Was it just a slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay. So like it's almost like that. It's like this series of images that are mostly static, maybe some moving a little bit, with a radio style narrator over the top, talking about 90 different families that were impacted by a mysterious plague or a mysterious event, had something to do with birds. And it's 3 hours long, and it's like played for sort of like dark comedy, but there's no narrative structure. You learn about this event as the movie goes on, but he asked his audience to just sit with him for 3 hours. It's like as long as it's taking me to tell this story.
Must be brutal.
Brutal. And but he does shit like that. Like he just always is like pushing things. So I can't wait to see Belly of an Architect. And Eugenio tells a really touching story about this one because he was pretty involved in this release, and he actually got to interview his dad. And anyways, it's a really nice story. So I can't wait to see this one.
All that to say, this to me is a really great line. I think this is actually where some of the better titles are. What's odd to me, though, is that they talk about this as a experimental sort of proving ground for what they could put out. But like at least a third of these feel very much like VS releases already. Like Mansion of Madness would have been just fine on the regular VS line. Story of a Junkie fits exactly with a lot of the stuff that they do, or even a VSA theoretically. Paganini definitely fits in with the regular VS line. I mean, it's Kinski doing weird Kinski shit. Like that's exactly Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, 100%. Guest
House Paradiso, you already did Drop Dead Fred. Why is this on the VSL line?
True.
It's a spiritual partner to that film.
True.
It's just some odd choices. I understand the first 3 that they put out. It was like, oh, you're actually doing like classic cinema. This is something that you've never done before. This is interesting. And then they went Polish, and that one, sure, very different than what you put out. And then Guest House Paradiso was announced, and it's like, wait a minute. This is just another line where it's like, hey, let's just throw shit together that sometimes makes no sense.
Yeah. Keith Stofferson, everybody that I've spoken to that has seen that movie, The Sea Nor the Sand, really likes it. I need to get to it. I was just because I'm moving is the only reason I haven't. But everybody that's seen it really likes it. It's apparently like quite an excellent movie.
It's pretty good. It's not my favorite from the whole line, but it's pretty good.
Oh, you've seen it. Okay, thank you.
Want to point out too, some of these that we didn't get enough attention to the first time, primarily 5-Card Stud. This is one of those films that is wild that Vinegar Syndrome released it.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they have a film out with that cast specifically, and it's the first thing and only thing they've done from that genre. Again, the Apocalypse Tetralogy is a really, really exciting thing that they put out. Story of a Junkie, though, probably one of the most surprising titles from this line. It looks like an odd title, but one that I think most people that see it will find something to truly enjoy with it.
Yeah, it's very good.
All right, and that brings us to the capper. Vinegar Syndrome Archive. Now this says, the Vinegar Syndrome Archive sublabel celebrates 4 forgotten cinematic oddities from the video store era. This collection was inspired by our own brick-and-mortar video stores with locations in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Aurora, Colorado, and Toronto, Ontario. And so they're leaning into the video store thing. But, oh, man, the titles on this line, there have been quite a few. We're talking everything from Crack House to Women on the Run to Lifeline to They Call Me Macho Woman to Champagne and Bullets. There's been some rather well-known titles in here. And when I say rather well known, I just primarily mean much more known than the rest of the titles on this line. But there's been some titles on here that nobody had ever heard of, basically, before they were announced. The big thing for these is that they sell out, and there is supposedly no standard editions, although they're starting to do some on the VSMC, where you can buy them with your points rather than purchasing the film again.
Okay.
A lot of their older titles on this line used to be like cheesy action movies or cheesy horror movies or just straight cheesy movies. But now, as Chris said earlier, we have kind of left from the cheesy action film line to suddenly this is like a lot of Asian films coming. And nothing against that. I truly enjoy those, but it's been a weird ride for VSA. So how do you, Chris, how do you define VSA?
I do quickly want to comment that I think it's funny that they talk about the video store era and then they mention the video stores that they've opened up as if they've been around from the 80s running like Vinegar Syndrome stores for 40 years. A minor nitpick in copywriting. It's fine. No, Simner, I don't know. Eureka on steroids. I don't know. I think for me, I think what they're trying to do is like the feeling of like walking through the video store shelves and like seeing all these random action titles and Hong Kong movies now and like actually, martial arts movies and stuff. I still do feel like they're if you think about their whole catalog like laid out on the shelves, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you have like the Jalal Mary section, right? Or Jalal Mary or whatever. I don't know how to say his name. I've never heard it said, but like you've got all those like Billy Banks movies and stuff, right? You've got the Cynthia Rothrock section, and then you're starting to now get into like the Hong Kong section. So like I can kind of see like if they're trying to recreate, because it does seem like they go section by section in a way. So that's the best I can wrap my mind around what this line is.
Yeah. Again, like some of these, I understand, remembering like posters from video store days, but like, I don't know, even just the stuff that we're looking at, like Mindbenders, that was never something that people are clamoring for that you remember seeing on the video store shelves, probably.
No, and this is not to defend it because Mindbenders is not that great of a movie, but like it's like I do understand. I do think it fits in the description in the sense of like you're walking through a shelf and you see a random movie that like you would have never seen otherwise. It's in like this local video store. It's like a regional thing or like a, you have these independent video stores that were curated by people that loves movies. And so you get like that style of thing, right? I don't know. I can kind of see it like that.
I actually really like what Sibner says here. He says, my video store is mostly what Cinematograph is putting out. And I would agree with that fully.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't in y'all's video stores.
And BSU, I guess.
Yeah. See, Adam, I think that's a perfect way to say it. Like trash nostalgia. I think that's a nice, like,
the word trash is a nice way to describe it.
Yeah. It's good though. Like it's trash in like a loving way. It's like it's stuff that like you're surprised by. You pick it up and you see some movies you don't like and you give Santo Dr. Death a chance and you're like you realize that they're trying to make him into like a Bond character and you're like, what the hell is going on with this? But it's kind of fun.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of these are fun. It just feels so weird to put them together.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not what they originally called out with the label. The interesting thing, too, we haven't even gone into it, but it has very specific packaging. It's got like VHS style pull off the top packaging, and they all come with a poster. This is the only line that comes with a poster on the inside. It's not a huge poster, and it's a folded poster. But it is one that, they're trying to lean into that video store feeling of putting a poster in there. And I don't know. I mean, some of these titles, again, Not great. Some of these titles are very nostalgic. I mean, like the martial law series, as I come across it, that one makes total sense on what they originally announced this for. Action USA, less so, but when you watch the movie, it feels like it. And then you look at the House of Usher, and it's just not the same.
If there was ever like, my hope with this line is that they get into like a JCVD situation, or they get into like maybe more Chuck Norris movies or something. Like I hope they eventually can kind of afford those style of movies, because it'd be fun to see. All the Cynthia Rothrock stuff I think sold pretty well, and the Jalal Mary stuff sold pretty well. So I hope they kind of keep going in that direction.
Yeah, I totally get that. Not my style. I don't want more stuff like Jalal Mary. I do love the Asian stuff they're putting out, though.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, Action USA in my very objective list of my top 100, I think is in the top 5, or for sure in the top 10. Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Genuinely incredible.
That was the movie, that got me into Vinegar Syndrome to begin with. And like Spellcaster's fun. I don't know. But oh, hey, what's up, Chris?
That's the other Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff here overall. Well, not overall. Some good, some bad. I have not been fond of the limited and then it's gone model with this. I know specifically, like, a lot of people are talking about Champagne and Bullets today, and I'll scroll up just slightly to cover it. But I mean, it's a film that has Wings Hauser that people want on Blu-ray, and they only did like 5,000 copies of it, and now you can't get it for less than, I don't know, like $140 on eBay or whatever.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, why would you turn down standard sales, right? I get it.
Right.
Champagne Bullets is worth $140, though.
I would disagree there.
I think it was made for $140, but it's...
And that's after leaving a tip.
It's so fun, though. God bless that movie, man. I love, like, I don't know, the guy made his own theme song. Like, that movie's fantastic.
All right, my friend, that means time to get into like some overall rankings on these labels. So if that's what we're saying, we are ranking these 6 lines. What do you have at your number 6, least favorite of the VS sublabels?
Youngest, least amount of titles, still trying to figure out what they are. DeGausser's number 6. No shade on it, but just the Strip Picks would have been number 7 if we had included them. But I think DeGausser's number 6 for me. What about you?
My number 6, primarily because of the hit rate, is VSP. Right off the line, I think that this has maybe the worst films in the entire VS catalog. Primarily street trash. It is that bad.
Yeah, you're angry at VSP.
I was angry that I took 90 minutes to watch street trash. I think that they do have some really good ones in this line, but the fact that they've got like 4 that I wanted to put a fork in my ear after watching. They had to be the bottom of mine for sure.
I mean, VSP is next for me. It's the next one for me. So yeah.
Oops, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so that's perfect. So my number 5 is DeGausser. The big thing here is like they won me over with Cannibal the Musical and Redneck Zombies, but the quality alone is really not great on this line. Yeah. And I if they're going to do it, I want more of the titles to feel like Cannibal the Musical, where they've got all of the extras to really beef up the release to make up for the lack of picture quality that you're able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Next up for you, number 4.
So I want to preface this because when I ranked every movie that Kurosawa made, people would get really mad at my like number 13 movie from Kurosawa. And it was a 5-star movie for me. So like, it's just a matter of like filtering things that I like.
Right.
So I want to say everything from here on out, I like, and I could defend in almost any position. That being said, number 4 for me is probably going to be VSU. That's probably the next one for me. Simply because of the lows of it. Like, there's not that many titles. And even though Roadhouse is in, like Roadhouse would put it up. I don't know. It's random. It seems random to me, and it's number 4 for me.
I think we're going to be pretty aligned here, because this is my number 4 primarily because I think a lot like Sibner. I feel like they put a lot more choice on this literally just for the packaging. And I have fallen way away from the packaging love that a lot of people are. They're very nice, but I want packaging like that for titles that I love.
Yeah.
And not Daryl or fucking Chuck Norris movies. I like a couple of these a lot. Like Southern Comfort is incredible, genuinely a freaking amazing movie. Showgirls is incredible, but also like the Showgirls release, as much as I love Showgirls, has really not great art. I kind of wish they did something different with it. But
quickly, how dare you? Chuck Norris saved America from an actual invasion. Just respect.
I have zero respect for the Iceman or the Norris Man, whatever we want to call him today. I don't like Chuck Norris at all. Let's go your number 3 then.
Cinematograph. High Highs. Shanks is one of the favorite movies I've discovered in the last 3 years, 5 years. I don't know. I love Shanks is amazing. Lot of really, really good movies in that line. My personal, like, I don't spend a lot of time wishing I had seen more dramas from the 70s or like from the 80s.
Right.
Like, that's not something that I like they're finding good stuff, but it's from a genre that I don't otherwise care about. And so cool stuff. And I'm happy I've seen a lot of them. But it's not like the kind of thing I'm drawn to. So that's the only reason. But it's number 3. I still really like it.
On that note, they do have different things coming. Like, I believe the one getting announced on April 1st is their first action title.
Okay.
And they've got, I think later in the year, they've got a horror double feature coming, which is interesting. But it's a good pick. I like Cinematograph. My number 3 is probably going to be VSA, actually. I really love a lot of the Asian titles they've been doing over the last couple, I was going to say months, but it's definitely been like 9 or 12 months, not just a couple months. A lot of those are incredible movies. I truly enjoy what they put out, stuff like Frontline, and a lot of them have just won me over. Unfortunately, I was never, I just bashed Chuck Norris. I don't like the cheesy action movies. I'm not into Jalal Mary. I'm not even into a lot of the Cynthia Rothrock stuff. And it's just not nostalgic for me. I wasn't raised on it. So I don't have the love that somebody like you has for it there, Chris. Stuff like Action USA was great. And if it was closer to that, I would be into it. But there's a big quality drop from Action USA to Jalal Mary's number 1 hit. I can't bridge that gap in my mind. So that has to be my number 3.
I'll come back to VSA in just a minute. Number 2, this was tough for me because I'm a Gemini. Like, I've learned later in life, I'm a Gemini, my astrology sign. And the more I learn about that, like, it's really my personality. So I have like 2 sides competing all the time. But one of them is going to be like the art house stuff. And so I'm tempted to put VSL at number 1 because of like the Shulkin set just alone. Like, it's tough to get better than that as a collection of movies. But VSL for me has a lot of like range. Like, there's a lot of movies I also didn't like. Or there's some movies I also didn't like, not a lot. So I'm going to put it at 2.
Interesting choice. I can't wait to hear what you say about VSA. I'll talk about VSL in just a minute. My number 2 is Cinematograph. I think that they've had some excellent titles. I do like that somebody in the U.S. other than Cape Light is trying media books. I wish he would have tried a little differently than he put the thought into this packaging. I love the whole, let's do like a custom disc tray for our releases. that's cool and all, and I do think they're higher quality than a lot of them. But I mean, the art choices on these have not all been stellar. The films, there's a couple that are lacking, but a lot of them are pretty great. It is a line that's had some pretty good special features, not something that we highlighted earlier, but Justin definitely has some good choices there.
Yeah.
And the big thing, you've got a guaranteed booklet of essays in every single release because it's a media book. And I do like myself some essays. So that is my number 2.
When I have a pretty stressful job, I don't talk about it a lot, but there's a lot of stress that goes along with it. And when I want to relax, I like a movie that's really in a genre that I like, that like paints by the numbers. It's just like it knows exactly what it is, and some of the genres that I like are like spaghetti westerns and like, Japanese pinku movies and stuff like that. But some of the other ones I like are like silly 80s and 90s action movies. It's just a very soothing thing for me. And so I will always support something like VSA. I love it. Like it's a very like a chicken soup for the soul kind of thing for me to watch Jalal Mary do like a half-hearted roundhouse kick. And he's supposed to be some like superstar, like martial arts guy in Brazil or something. Seems like he bought that title. I'm just gonna say it. But like, I kind of like it. Like Cynthia Rothrock doing a kick at half speed. Like I kind of like it. And then they're getting into the Asian stuff, which is great. Like. They put out Hero, right? I'm not crazy, right? Yeah. Or my father is a hero. The Enforcer, and they put out Love on Delivery. That movie's so charming. So
I get it. It's not a bad pick. That leaves for me number 1. I've got VSL left, and so with VSL, my big thing is I am a big fan of variety. A grab bag label is literally perfect for me.
Mm-hmm.
We are all over the place with time that it was created, genres that it was created, countries that it was created in. And I think this line truly has the highest highs. And even the lowest of the VSL is not like tripe, which some of the other lines have some genuine, like, this movie is just truly terrible. I think the VSL, it's got a higher hit rate so far, and I'm totally fine with it being a proving ground, I guess, but also I don't need that. Just put it in the VS line. I'd be all about that. And I know I'm weird. I know a lot of people aren't that same way. And, I think it was Wave pointed out earlier, a lot of the VS subscribers are literally over the last couple of years complaining about reading subtitles. So some of these titles that would have been in the VS line, they're like, let's put in the VSL so that we get less complaints. I don't know. There's so much in this line that is just interesting. And I love a lot of the regular VS titles, but I can only do that so much. I have to have variety in what I watch. So even like box sets, I pretty much never can watch a box set start to finish. I got to put other stuff in between. And the VSL line is really interesting for me for that.
100% agree. I think people that can sit down and just watch like 17 movies in a box set, I don't know how you do it. I can't. I have to mix it up. For me, like they start to blend together, and I fall asleep, and it takes me a long time, and everything. Yeah. I'm curious though, Craig. Just one thing you brought up. Like, interestingly enough, the Vinegar Syndrome line really doesn't have a lot of action in it. Like, it has some.
Yeah, especially Asian over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but like it really doesn't have a lot of like cheesy 80s action movies or 90s action movies. Like it's horror. It's a horror line, right? It's like they started off as like a porn line and a horror line, and like they got into a little bit of genre film, but they really never did the whole like MVD rewind thing. That really wasn't them, and still really isn't. But VSA and MVD rewind can compete a lot of times, right?
Well, and the next question that Craig just asked is let's be honest here, the real reason many of these sublabels exist. You have subscribers, you can't just give them all of the films as part of the subscription for free. So they created a lot of these sublabels just to be able to sell more movies. And when you're putting out 4 on the main line in a month and then 6 sublabel films in a month at the same time, like you just want to make more money, and that's okay. Nothing against that, but it's really hard to justify those sublabels when some of those titles literally make perfect sense on the main line.
I do think that if there's a critique of the sublabel as like a whole, that I think has come up a lot tonight. They're not super selective with what goes in each sublabel.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in this hobby that are pretty OCD about that kind of stuff. And like, I'm not even going to throw stones because there's times where it like hurts my brain trying to figure out what a line is about or sublabels about. And so I do think that's a miss from them a little bit. Their curation is not super precise.
And that's the thing. There are certain labels, and not just because Craig is here or something, but I'll say like Deaf Crocodile, I know I can trust their curation 100% because it's been pretty much every single title has been a hit for me. Mondo Macabro, I can trust their curation almost 100%. Vinegar Syndrome, that's not that type of label. They're releasing so many things. There's going to be films that you literally hate that they're putting out. There's going to be films that might be one of your favorite discoveries over the last year. Likely, you're going to have some months where you have both of those together, and that is not enough to be able to say that you trust them.
Yeah. There's an interesting comment about the getting away with the subscription altogether. Before we go there was a comment that Ryan made up there about never heard the love for spaghetti westerns explained that way. Thank you for saying something, Ryan. I know we've been frenemies tonight. But spaghetti westerns are the best, and I appreciate you saying that. But the subscription thing is interesting. I actually do think there's going to be a change in the subscription model. I don't even think that's necessarily like private information. He was more or less indicating that something would happen, right? On your Discord. I imagine behind the scenes they're trying to figure that out too. Because, all honesty, do you think Joe Rubin ever thought that the archive that he bought would turn into this?
Right.
He's got to be pretty stoked at what this has turned into. And I do, that's kind of cool. As a business owner, that's a success story, right? They just went in and they bought an archive and they're like, what do we do with this? I don't know, let's make some discs. And then they put out porn for a while, and then they put out other stuff, and they've kind of grown into this. So it's a success story, right? And I think we're watching them in this transition stage right now where they're trying to figure out what they're going to be next. So we get into a lot of conversations like we're having now, but that's why I'm still a subscriber, and that's why I still support them and kind of like them. Is they're imperfect, but coming from the startup world, every CEO of a startup is imperfect. That's very common. Right. And that's not necessarily the bar to make a successful business. And the people that work at VS, you don't have to listen to Punk Vacation, but if you do, you'll hear they love movies, and that's cool. There's careers for people that really love movies. So I don't know.
So we've covered a lot tonight from VS. Let's end on this then. It seems clear through what we've heard and through a lot of complaints that they want to change up the subscription. Let's be honest, they're never going to get rid of it. They make far too much in one go to get rid of it. It's the influx in cash they likely need to keep it going at the rate that they're going every year. Literally, signing these Paramount titles that they're doing takes a lot of money to cover the restoration stuff, to get the actual licensing. 4K licenses are not cheap. They're going to do that. So in your mind, and I'm sure you've thought about this before, so I am going to put you on the spot. How do you fix the subscription? Other than, the obvious of there's a subscription to everything and it costs $4,000 instead of $1,000. How do you fix the subscription?
Yeah, I agree with you that the subscription is a big cash influx for them, and for that reason alone, they'll never get rid of it. The thing in business that's a pretty consistent thing across every industry is you have to be very clean. Like, if I have any complaint against TerraVision, which I don't really have a lot of complaints because they're amazing, but their subscription model is not totally clean, I think, in terms of like, you can buy like this one or this one or this one, and like it doesn't totally like it's, or like what's the other one? Radiance is having to figure this out now because they had that mega subscription in the beginning, and now they're doing like you can do 6 months and you can do US or you can do UK, and like there's like it's difficult, right? Because we as collectors are working across regions, but that's not how rights work. So it's like they're constantly having to navigate all this. Okay, anyways, so I think everyone's trying to figure out a subscription model that can work because it's just you need that cash to go acquire more titles, and it's like this cyclical thing, I guess, right? So if I were gonna fix it, I would probably do like 3 tiers or something like that. I want to keep it simple. I would say, first of all, you can do a partner label sub, and you pick 10 a month, and you get to you pick the 10 you want. And I understand that that's hard on the back end for warehouses and stuff. I get it. But there is, I sell like a lot of logistical software and supply chain software. It's not that hard. Like it's hard, but it's not that hard. Like there's people like Walmart that are selling in each store, there's like 100 million SKUs or something. And they, like it's not that hard. So you would just need a little bit more sophisticated software, or having like 2 weeks of a consultant to come in and help you organize the supply chain software you have. And no, Craig, I get it. I'm just saying, like, at the volume that they're selling, there are solutions that don't make sense for somebody selling at a lower volume, because now they're a major player. Like they're a major. Like, they're producing movies now, right? Like if they needed to go raise $50 million of funding, they could go do it, right? Like not every label can kind of like say that, I guess. So anyways, I would do something like 3 tiers. I would have one that's just a partner label sub, and it's a defined amount. You get 10 a month or whatever, or some amount a month. And then you can buy extra if you want to. But most of the time, if they're releasing 17 to 18 titles a month, if you can find, maybe it's 5 a month. If you can find 5 to 8 you really desperately need a month, you're doing pretty well, right? I still think the VS thing needs to be, there's an interesting topic that's come up in a lot of different ways here. I think you need to reduce the amount of sublabels you have. But I don't think there's any reason to have 7 sublabels if you include Distripix. I just don't think you need it. I understand the need for VSU. I think you could almost do something different with VSU and make it like a marquee thing, where it's like halfway to Black Friday, and Black Friday there's going to be a major title released. And, you can call it VS if you want to, or you can call it VSU if you want to. But I think if you make it like an event, people will kind of get behind it, whatever it's called. And it's going to be, this is where we do a studio movie, and we're doing it to raise funds, and, whatever. We're going to sell 12,000 copies of The Keep and go buy another copy of Blood Tracks. So I think you reduce the amount of sublabels, and you then can do the VS main line, and it still works. And then I think you just kind of make a commitment to not doing, there is a super tier, I do think you create a super tier. And I think you're going to find a couple hundred people a year that are going to pay $4,000 and just get everything. Like I do honestly think there are a few, maybe it's not 500, but I do honestly think there's some people that are like, I don't care, just send me the stuff, and like I want to get everything you put out
without worrying if it'll sell out.
Yeah, and if you can find 100 of them, like that's great, right? Like I really do think you could do a super tier, and it would work.
Interesting. And then Chris leaves immediately. It's an interesting idea to think that so many people would sign on in that first week of the year to literally get everything and be able to bankroll that. Not sure how many they would get, but again, if you could get even 200 people to do that, that is a ton of money right there. So I've been thinking about this for a while. I think there is. I hope he comes back soon. I think there is one very specific way to solve this, and it keeps it simple as well. First off, kind of like Chris, 2 tiers. But the big thing is everybody has been sold on the subscription because you're acting like every title that you're getting in your subscription is, I guess it's just me now, the sale price as if it was already 50% off MSRP. So my thought is you're literally subscribing at $1,000, which you pay $1,000 and you get $2,000 worth of MSRP credit to spend however you wish throughout the year. You have a second tier that's $2,000 or $2,500, but it's worth double that MSRP. And when you run out at the end of the year, you run out. Simple as that. If you are wanting more, you get the half price discount, just like you always were supposed to. You still get that on the partner labels. And the big thing is, of course, everybody that does this is very happy. You never have to pay for shipping. All the sales, all that stuff, all the shipping is already covered because they're getting their money in the beginning. And you get that specific amount, and it's literally just like a point system. And maybe he's back. There he is.
I called my shot and I left.
It was perfect timing.
Sorry.
So I don't know if you heard any of that. I called out a credit system. There's 2 tiers, $1,000, and it gets you essentially $2,000 worth of MSRP credit through the year. That's my idea. And then there is a second tier. It's either $2,000 or $2,500, but it gets you literally double that value in MSRP, and you still get half price discounts for everything and free shipping. Like, that's the obvious way to go. Then you get to make the choice. Do you want to choose from the sublabels? Does the Vinegar Syndrome mainline look like crap to you this month, and you only want the VSU they announced? You have the MSRP to make the choice with.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I think that actually is a really good idea. The other thing is, if they're selling all their stuff at 50% off, like I'd be curious to know how much they actually sell at. What are they, like 20% off or whatever, 25%, whatever it is, like, versus 50% off? Because if you're selling 70% of your inventory at 50% off, then at some point, like, I think just lower the prices too. And
be honest.
Yeah, be honest about it, right? I would like that. And then I think what you're talking about could work great, because then you could sell it at MSRP if it was $29 or $27 instead of $60.
Yep, exactly. Well, this has been fun. We always talk about VS in a lot of different ways, but dissecting the lines is not something that we've ever really done. So nice. I'm glad we were able to do this. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I know it's not quite one of your 8-hour epics, but it's still, we're pushing 3 hours, or no, we're over 3 hours now. So over 3 hours. Yeah, what is your most engaging social media you'd love people to follow you on? It's tempting to say Instagram, because I get a lot of dopamine if people follow me on Instagram and like and comment and stuff. So like, I'd love that. But I just have this love for this pet project I'm doing on Reddit. So like, I will never make any money off what I'm doing. So I'm not like selling anything. I just really am like obsessed about talking about movies. And if you go to the Instagram, it's Punk Vacation Podcast. I think it's Punk Vacation _podcast. That would be, it'd be fun if you followed me, and I get, like I said, I get some good dopamine from that, and I get to publish the episodes and stuff. But on Reddit, it's r/personal history of film, and I need to keep it updated. I'm about a week or two behind, but I just post reviews, and like I said, never making any money off of it, but it's just fun for me. I like to engage and talk about it, and people always have such varied takes on films. I mean, there's people that like Vertigo in this world, which is just crazy to me. Yeah. No, but like, I love it when I don't try to have hot takes, but it's funny enough that y'all are giving me a lot of shit, because on They Live by Film, they've now, shout out to Brian, right? And They Live by Film, they gave me shit for having hot takes too. So this is I think I just happen to like weird stuff and not like normal stuff. To be fair, those are doled out pretty evenly amongst the three of you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I love if you want to come talk to me on Reddit and keep me company. That warms my heart. But Instagram is better for the podcast, so do that too. Or whatever.
Excellent. Yeah, just check out Chris's stuff. A friend that I've known, gosh, we're going on almost 5 years, Chris.
It's funny, and in this world, it feels like 30.
It does. It truly does.
Since yeah, I've been through a divorce. We've shared a lot of life together. So yeah. No, it's obviously your family. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you on all the time, and we always have really great discussions. Really appreciate that. Everybody follow Chris. Everybody follow the 17 podcast he hosts. Check out what he's got coming in the future. And for my stuff, as usual, if you haven't signed up for the Patreon, check out the link in the description below. The Discord would love to have you. We're still doing our promotion where if you sign up for a year in advance at least the $12 level, I've got a pile of stuff here that I'm sending out to people. I've still got some packages from the original glut of everybody that signed up that I've been waiting for better boxes to be able to send stuff in. People have been very happy. Come hang out. We'd love to have you. And on that note, I guess we'll see everybody next Thursday, where I guess I can say now, and a reminder to Craig. Craig is our guest next week, so come hang out. Thanks, everybody, and be safe. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description